Very good evening to all. I hope all are well. So today topic is small topic. We will cover both the topic liability to pay in the certain cases, and then we will cover the advanced ruling. And after that, we will have the sufficient time. We'll try to cover question of RTP May 2025 practical question. It will help you a lot. This would be the today agenda. First, I will complete these two chapters, and then I will come to the RTP May 2025. I hope it is clear. एक बार chat पर confirm करें. Yes, it is clear. Please quickly confirm in the chat. Yes, it is clear. Then we can start the discussion. Fine. This would be the today agenda, and make sure it will help a lot regarding the RTP. I can say. The first chapter is liability to pay in certain cases, pure theoretical topic. ठीक है. So we'll start with the section 85, where a taxable person liability to pay in case of the transfer of the business, where a taxable person liable to pay the tax under CGST Act transfer his business. This include the change in the ownership and due to the death of the sole proprietor, in whole or in part, by sale, gift, lease, leave and license, hire, or in any other manner whatsoever, the taxable person and the person to whom the business is so transferred shall jointly or severally be liable wholly or to the extent of the such transfer to pay the tax, interest, or penalty due from the taxable person up to the time of such transfer, whether such tax, interest, or penalty has been determined before the transfer but has been remain unpaid or is determined thereafter. Whatever the situation, it will be covered whether tax, interest, penalty, liability would be transferred determined before or it will be determined after. Next is where the transferee of the business referred to in subsection 1 carries such business either in his own name or some other name, he shall be liable to pay the tax who, transferee, on the supply of the goods or services or both effected by him from the date of such transfer. Third is, if he is a registered person, he shall apply within the prescribed time for amendment of his certificate of registration. Further, the transferee shall be liable to pay tax, interest, penalty due from the transferor in case of the transfer of the business due to the death of the sole proprietor. Next is liability of agent and principal, section 86, where an agent supply or receive any taxable goods on behalf of the principal, such agent and his principal shall jointly and severally be liable to pay the tax on such goods under this act. Third is liability to pay in case of an amalgamation, merger of the company. When two or more companies are amalgamated, when two or more companies are amalgamated or merged in pursuance of the order of the court or tribunal or otherwise, and the order is to take effect from the date earlier to the date of the order, when two or more companies are amalgamated or merged in pursuance of an order of the court, tribunal or otherwise, and order is to take effect from the date earlier to the date of order, any two or more such company have supplied or received any goods or services or both from each other during the period commencing on the date from which the order takes effect till the date of order, then such transaction shall be included in the turnover of supply or the receipt of the respective company, and they shall be liable to pay the tax accordingly. For the purpose of this act, the said two or more companies shall be treated as distinct person for the period up to the date of the said order, and the registration certificate of the company shall be cancelled with effect from the date of that order. Liability in case of the company in liquidation. Now, initiation by liquidator of a company of his appointment to commissioner. When any company is being wound up, whether under the court ka order or tribunal or otherwise, every person appointed as receiver of any asset of the company, hereinafter referred as a liquidator, shall within 30 days after his appointment give intimation of his appointment to the commissioner. Estimation of the tax interest penalty payable likely to become payable by the company in liquidation. The commissioner shall, after making inquiry or calling for the information as he may deem fit, notify the liquidator within 3 months from the date on which he received the intimation of the appointment of the liquidator, amount which, in the opinion of the commissioner, would be sufficient to provide any tax, interest, penalty, which is then or likely thereafter to become payable by the company. And what about the director? Director of the private company is to be jointly and severally liable for payment of the tax interest penalty not recovered. When any private company is wound up and any tax interest penalty determined under GST on the company for any period, whether before or in the course or even after its liquidation, cannot be recovered, then every person who was the director of the company at any time during the period for which the tax was due will jointly and severally be liable for the payment of such tax interest penalty. However, director will not be liable if he prove to the satisfaction of the commissioner that such non-recovery cannot be attributable to his gross negligence, breach of the duty on his part in relation to the affair of the company. तो अगर वो डायरेक्टर प्रूव कर देता है कि ये जो भी नॉन रिकवरी हुई है, whatever the default is there, it was not attributable to his gross negligence, then he cannot be held liable. Otherwise वो liable होगा. अब बात करते हैं liability of director of a private company. Director of a private company be jointly severally liable for payment of tax interest penalty, notwithstanding anything contained in the Companies Act, where any tax interest penalty due from a private company in respect of any supply for any period cannot be recovered, then every person who was the director of the private company during such period be jointly and severally be liable, and unless he prove the non-recovery cannot be attributable to his gross negligence in relation to the company. So all the part are same. अगर वो डायरेक्टर प्रूव कर देता है कि whatever non recovery is there, it is not attributable to his gross negligence, तो वो liable नहीं होगा, otherwise वो liable होगा. Director not jointly and severely be liable for the payment due from a private company and not recovered if such private company get converted into the public company. So private become public, then what is the situation? Where the company is being converted into the public, and any tax interest penalty in respect of any supply during which company was a private cannot be recovered before such conversion, then nothing contained in subsection 1 shall apply to any person who was the director of such private company in relation to tax interest penalty of such private company. However, nothing contained shall apply to any personal penalty imposed on the director. Now, next is liability of the partner to pay the taxes. Partner of the firm again jointly severally be liable to pay the tax interest penalty, notwithstanding any contract to the contrary and any other law for the time being in force, where any firm is liable to pay any tax, interest, penalty under this act. The firm and each of the partner be liable for that payment. Retiring partner liable to pay any tax interest penalty due up to the date of his retirement, where any partner retire from the firm, he or the firm shall intimate the date of the retirement to the commissioner by a notice in this behalf in writing, and such partner shall be liable to pay the tax interest penalty due up to the date of his retirement, whether determined or not on that date. However, if no such intimation is given within 1 month, then the liability shall continue until the date on which such intimation. So this is the big problematic. Might be some person are aware, might not be aware that intimation has to be given by the retiring partner to the commissioner. Liability of guardian trustee, section 91, where the business in respect of which tax interest penalty is payable is carried on by any guardian, trustee, or agent of a minor or other incapacitated person on behalf of or for the benefit of such minor, the tax interest penalty shall be leviable and recoverable from the guardian, trustee, or agent. Tax interest penalty shall be levied and recoverable in like manner, and to some extent it would be determined and recoverable from any minor or other incapacitated person as if he were a major or capacitated person and if he were conducting the business himself, and all the provision of that rule apply accordingly. Then 92. Sorry. Liability of the court of ward, where the state or any portion of the state of a taxable person owning a business in respect of which the tax is payable under the control of the courts of ward, the administrator general, the official trustee, or any receiver or manager under any order of court, tax interest penalty shall be levied and recoverable from such court of wards, administrative general, official trustee, receiver, or manager. The tax interest penalty shall be levied and recoverable in like manner and in the same extent as it would be determined and be recoverable from the taxable person as if were conducting the business himself, and all the provision will be applied accordingly. तो मान लिया जाएगा कि वो खुद ही बिजनेस कर रहा है, that person court of fraud etc. and be recoverable. Special provision regarding the liability in certain cases. Now they are saying multiple cases. First case, on death of the person liable to pay the tax interest penalty. This is very common. On death of the person liable to pay tax, interest, or penalty, save as otherwise provided in the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, where a person liable to pay the tax, interest, penalty dies, business is continued after his death. If a business is carried on by the person is continued after his death or by his legal representative or any other person, such legal representative or other person shall be liable to pay the tax, interest, penalty under this act. Business discontinued. If the business is discontinued, whether before or after, his legal representative shall be liable to pay out of the state of the deceased person to the extent of which state is capable of meeting the tax, interest, penalty, etc. Where such tax, interest, penalty has been determined before his death but is remain unpaid or is determined after his death. तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता before, after. If it is remain unpaid, it can be recovered from the legal representative, but to the extent of his state. जो भी उसे properties, whatever the things which he has received legal representative, out of that only amount can be paid. The successor shall be liable to pay tax, interest, penalty due from the transferor in case of the transfer of the business. ठीक है? On addition of HUF or association of person, save as otherwise provided in the IBC Code 2016, where a taxable person liable to pay tax, interest, penalty is HUF or AOP, and property of HUF or AOP is partitioned among the various member, then each member or group of the member shall jointly or individually be liable to pay up to the date of the partition, whether such tax, interest, penalty determined before or determined after, but remain unpaid. ठीक है? These are very theoretical. Just एक बार आप revise कर लेना. It will be you will be able to easily understand. अगर फर्म का dissolution होता है, then again save as provided in IBC, where the taxable person liable to pay the tax, interest, penalty is a firm and is dissolved, then every person who was the partner be liable up to the time of the dissolution. Again, where such liability has been determined before or after. Next is on termination of the guardianship or trust. Save as provided in IBC, where the taxable person liable to pay the tax, interest, penalty is the guardian of the ward on whose behalf the business is carried on by the guardian. Is a trustee who carry on the business under the trust for the beneficiary. Then if the guardianship or the trust is terminated, the ward or the beneficiary shall be liable to pay tax, interest, penalty due from the taxable person, again up to the time of termination of guardianship or court, where again determined before or determined after. Liability to pay in other cases. 94. Discontinuation of the business by the firm AOP or HUF, where the taxable person is a firm AOP, HUF, and such firm, association, or family has discontinued the business, then such tax, interest, penalty payable under this act by such firm, association, or family up to the date of such discontinuation may be determined as if no discontinuation has been taken place. Every person who at the time of discontinuation was a partner of such firm or member of such association or family shall, notwithstanding such discontinuation, jointly and severally be liable for tax, interest, penalty determined and penalty imposed and payable by the firm, association, family whether such tax has been determined prior to discontinuation or after the discontinuation. Changes in the constitution of the firm or AOP, where the change has occurred in the constitution of the firm or an AOP, the partner of the firm or the member of association as it exists before and as it exists after shall, without prejudice to the provision of section 90, jointly and severally be liable to pay tax interest penalty for any period before its reconstitution. Again, the dissolution of the firm, AOP, partnership, or a partition of HUF. The provision of section 94 may, as far may be apply where the taxable person being the firm, AOP is dissolved, or where the taxable person being HUF has effected partnership with respect to business carried on by it, and accordingly a reference in that subsection to discontinuation shall be construed as reference to the dissolution or the partitions. For the purpose of this chapter, the LLP formed and registered under the provision of LLP Act shall also be considered as firm, and court mean district court, high court, or supreme court. Now it's a revision. एक बार let's see what are the charts, what are the flow chart is being given. We'll read. Let liability to pay in case of the transfer of the business, section 85, where the transfer of the business is made by way of the sale, gift, lease, leave, license, hire, or any other manner up to the date of the transfer. Then transferor and transferee are jointly and severally liable. Where transfer carries such business either is in own or another name, transferee shall be liable to pay tax on the supply effected by him and with effect from the date on such transfer. So I would suggest एक बार आप read कर लीजिएगा. Whenever you are able to read, you should read and then it will be clear. Let's move to the second chapter, advanced ruling. And my dear friend, believe me, today we would have the sufficient time to cover the multiple question on RTP May 25. आपने लास्ट क्लास में कहा था कि सर प्रैक्टिकली हमारा कवर नहीं होता, कैन वी हैव द वन प्रैक्टिकल क्लास? Will it happen or not? I don't know, but at least today class we can take that advantage to cover the practical part. ठीक है ना? I think all are agreed to this point. All are happy to cover the RTP, or you want something else to be covered, or you want something else to be covered. Do I cover the RTP, or you want something else to be covered? If you want something else, please clear me or please tell me what you want. ठीक है, तो RTP आप लोगों ने कहा है, I will try to cover RTP. अगर meanwhile किसी और participant का कोई और point है, you can easily tell me. I will try to cover as far as possible. अब हम बात करते हैं advance ruling. What is the advance ruling? Advance ruling is a decision. Advance ruling is a decision given by whom? Be given by the authority or the appellate authority. Whom? To the applicant on the matter or the question specified in 97 subsection 2 or 100 subsection 1 in relation to the supply of goods or services or both being undertaken or proposed to be undertaken by the applicant. Again, let me tell, the advance ruling means the decision. It is a decision provided by the authority or appellate authority. So advance ruling, we normally are using double AR or triple AR. What is the meaning of double AR? Advance ruling authority, authority of advance ruling. And what is the meaning of triple AR? Appellate authority of advance ruling. This is authority of advance ruling, and this is appellate authority of advance ruling. Then what is the advance ruling? It is a decision given by AAR or given by AAR on specified question. It means whatever the question can be asked, the list has been given in the 97 subsection 2, yeah, 100 subsection 1. In relation to the supply being undertaken or proposed to be undertaken, what is the being undertaken? If I ask that which is being undertaken means, is it past tense, present tense, or future tense? I'm not teaching the tenses in this class, but one of the important point we will draw from here. So please answer me. If it is written being undertaken, is it present tense or past tense or future tense? What you will say? It is the present tense. It is the present tense. And if I am using the word proposed to be undertaken, then what it will be? Proposed to be undertaken, what it will be? It will be the future tense. Now tell me whether past tense is covered in this sentence. क्या इसमें was undertaken, etc. is being covered? Answer is no. क्या मतलब इस बात का? What does it means? It means advance ruling authority will give the decision on the list of the question specified in the 97 subsection 2 or 100 subsection 1 with respect to supply. But that supply either should be continue in the present or you are planning to undertake in future. It means you cannot ask the question to the advance ruling authority. You cannot ask the question to the advance ruling authority on the supply which you have undertaken in the past. Matlab, I cannot go to the advance ruling authority and saying, sir, what is the tax rate for the transaction which I have carried in the December 24? The application would get rejected because it is the past transaction. The question which I can ask to the advance ruling authority, either it is the current supply I am undertaking or I am planning to undertake in the future. Is it clear? This point is clear. Very, very important. ठीक है. Now, let's move further. Question which can be asked to the advance ruling authority. Classification. So I am not sure that whether my goods or services fall under which classification. Is there any notification applicable or not applicable? I can ask the question. I can ask the question on the time of supply. I can ask the question on the value of supply. I can ask the question on admissibility of ITC. I can ask the question determination of the liability, whether I am required to be registered in the GST or not. I can ask whether my transaction will amount to result into the supply. So if you read classification, I request everyone remember this provision: classification, applicability of the notification, time of supply, place of supply, ITC, liability to pay the taxes, required to be registered, or is it a supply? Out of these 6 category of the question, whether place of the supply is covered in this particular 6 category of the question, क्या इसमें प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई कवर है? पीओएस? आंसर इज नो. So therefore, the advance ruling authority can't give the decision on the question which is related to place of supply. That application would get rejected. Why it is rejected? Because they are asking supply, registration, time, value, classification, liability to pay the tax, etc. They're not saying what is the place of the supply, and therefore, as per my understanding, law does not have the specific provision to ask the question on POS. Matter which cannot be question already pending in any proceeding, or question already decided in any proceeding under any of the provision of that. So the जो matter conclude हो चुका है या जो matter pending है उसके related question you cannot ask. It should be present. It should be present. So I am doing something, whether it is a supply or not, I can ask the question. But suppose I have done something in past, it will not fall in the advance ruling. Application would got rejected. The transaction, whatever the question you are asking, it should be either you are doing the same or you are planning in future. It cannot be the past transaction. Now, very simple point. Again, you try to tell me 2-3 points that which are the question can be asked to the advance ruling authority. Try to recall 2-3 points and tell me what are the question we can ask to the advance ruling authority given in the 97 subsection 2. एक या दो या तीन, whatever you can recall. Total 6 we have discussed. जितना भी आप recall कर सको, kindly tell me. Admin, yes, Prashant. Okay, okay. So very nice. You have told almost all the things. Okay. Almost all the things you have given the reply. Very nice. Appreciate it. Anyone who have joined the class through BOS app? No, no. Fine, fine. Now the authority for advance ruling and appellate authority for advance ruling. The authority for advance ruling constituted under the provision of the SGST or UTGST shall be deemed to be the authority in respect of SGST, UTGST also. ठीक है. R is the part of the department. Answer is here. See, they would be the some like joint commissioner or commissioner, whomsoever it is notified. So they will be the. So normally, what is the combination? So for example, let's take an example of R Madhya Pradesh. One joint commissioner from state and one commissioner rank from the center. They sit together and discuss the matter and give that decision. One from CGST, one from SGST. But that both would be rank of the commissioner. That would be of the department. It would not be the private person. Okay. So the authority of advance ruling constituted under the provision of SGST Act or UTGST Act shall be deemed to be the authority for advance ruling. Okay. The government shall appoint the person not below the rank of the joint commissioner as member. So I hope you got the clarity. Appellate authority for advance ruling constituted appellate authority for advance ruling constituted under the provision of SGST or UTGST shall be deemed to be the appellate authority in respect of that state. It can be seen from both the authority R and AAAR is constituted under the respective state or UTGST but not the center GST. This would mean that ruling given by the R and AAR will be applicable only within the jurisdiction of the concerned state or UT. It is also for the reason that the question or determination of the POS cannot be raised with R and AAR. What is the procedure? The applicant desirous of obtaining the advance ruling should make an application to AAR in the prescribed form and manner and shall be accompanied by the fees of 10,000, 5,000 CGST and 5,000 SGST. Okay. The application contained therein all the relevant documents accompanying such application need to be signed in the prescribed manner. Upon receipt of an application, R shall send a copy of application to the concerned officer and if necessary, call for all relevant record from the concerned officer. The relevant record called by the R shall be returned to the concerned officer as soon as possible. R then may examine the application along with the record called for and after hearing the applicant or authorized representative pass an order. Application for advance ruling will not be admitted in the case where the question raised in the application is already pending or decided in case of an applicant under any provision of this act. If the application is rejected, it should be by way of speaking order. कि reason क्या है reject करने का? They simply can't say that it is rejected. No. Giving the reason of the rejection and the application not be rejected unless the opportunity given to the applicant. Copy of the order admitting or rejecting the application shall be sent to the applicant and the concerned officer. On admission, the R shall pronounce its ruling within 90 days. Before giving the ruling, it shall examine the application and further material placed before it by the applicant. Before pronouncing the ruling, the R provide an opportunity of the being heard to the applicant or the representative. If there is a difference of opinion between two members of the AAR, they shall refer the point or point on which they differ to AAR. So, in case of the difference of opinion, they will redirect the matter to the appellate authority for advance ruling. If the members are also unable to come to any conclusion, then it shall be deemed that no advance ruling can be given in respect of the question on which difference persists at the level of AAR. Copy of the advance ruling duly signed by the member and certified in the prescribed manner, shall be sent to the applicant, the concerned officer, and jurisdictional officer. Appeal against the order of AAR to the appellate authority. If the applicant is aggrieved with the finding of AAR, so Mr. A, who has applied for the advance ruling has given the decision against Mr. A. Mr. A has one chance, has only one level that he can go to the appellate authority of advance ruling. If the concerned or jurisdictional officer does not agree with the finding, he can also file an appeal to AAAR. No ruling is given. No, I don't think so that will be refunded because it is not the provision. So you need to go back to the refund provision, whatever we have discussed. If there is a specific provision that fees would be refunded, then answer would be yes, otherwise no. Because I can't find any provision, but let me see. What about the matter on interstate supply? So Hemant, that interstate supply is also related to POS now. Whether my supply is intra or inter, it is nothing but the place of supply, right? And we have already discussed that POS cannot be heard by the AAR. Correct. And specifically, that could be the reason also. Suppose I am from state A, then I would never allow the revenue go to the state. Might be if I'm a bias. Suppose if I'm a biased person, so I will always give the decision that it is an intrastate supply. That possibility is there, correct? Because it will increase my state car revenue. And therefore, intentionally, they have not given this power or this under the list of the question to be asked. Could be, that could be. So I can just understand that could be one of the logic. Any appeal must be filed. So tell me how much is the fees for advance ruling? कितना फीस है एडवांस रूलिंग का टोटल सीजीएसटी एंड एचजीएसटी बोथ मिला के कितना होगा इज इट 2.5 टोटल 5 या 5 + 5 टोटल 10 yes total 10,000 what is the timeline to give the decision of advance ruling what is the timeline of the decision to be given by the advance ruling authority answer is 90 days if no what is the full form of AAR what is the full form of AAR पूरा नाम क्या है AAR का पूरा नाम क्या है AAR का एंड पूरा नाम क्या है AAAR का व्हाट इज द फुल नेम ऑफ द AAAR एंड व्हाट इज द फुल नेम ऑफ AAR what is the full name of AAR and what is the full name of AAAR Appellate Authority for Advance Ruling and Appellate Authority for Advance Ruling and first was the Authority for Advance Ruling. Absolutely correct. Now, AAR is of the state or center or both. AAR would be of state or would be of center or both. State/UT. AAR would be of state or would be of center or would both. The answer is state or union territory. Can we ask the past question? Can we ask the past question to the advance ruling authority? No. Answer is no. Which question cannot be asked to the advance ruling authority? Which question cannot be asked to the advance ruling authority? Answer is place of the supply related. Absolutely. Hemant, instead of interest rate, try to use the word POS. Try to use the word POS. Okay, fine. Now, if the applicant is aggrieved with the finding of AAR, he can file the appeal to AAR. Appeal must be filed within 30 days from the order of the advance ruling authority. Appellate authority may allow additional 30 days, being a condonation of the delay. Please quickly tell me, what is the time limit to file the appeal? We have discussed in the previous classes. You tell me, what is the time limit to file the appeal and what is the time limit to condone the delay, condonation of the delay? कितना टाइम था? जितने टाइम में नॉर्मल अपील की बात कर रहा हूं. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट एडवांस रूलिंग. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द नॉर्मल अपील अंडर सेक्शन 107 कमिश्नर अपील. It was 3 months and the condonation was 1 month. Absolutely correct, beta. Absolutely correct. So, the appeal has to be in the prescribed form, verified in the prescribed manner, along with the fees of 10,000 each under CGST and SGST. So, the total kitna? 20,000. However, if the concerned officer or jurisdictional officer is aggrieved by the decision of AAR, then no fee is required to be paid. It means application to the appellate authority of advance ruling can be made by the department as well. Assume that the member of the AAR has given the order in favor of the taxpayer, but superior officer, commissioner, think that the order was erroneous. Order was against the principle or against the rules, law. Then the department can also go against this order, against the department to the appellate authority of advance ruling. In this case, no fees would be there. No fees would be there. Okay. The appeal shall be signed in case the concerned officer or the jurisdictional officer by an officer authorizing in writing, and in case of an applicant in the specified manner. The appellate authority shall pass an order after hearing the parties to the appeal within a period of 90 days. Member differ on any point, it shall be deemed that no advance ruling can be issued on the question in respect of the matter. The said authority can pass such order as it may think fit, confirming the whatever the question, modifying the ruling or referred by the advance ruling authority against or referred by the advance ruling authority in the case of the difference of opinion. Copy of the advance ruling will be signed by the member, certified in the prescribed manner, and communicated to the applicant, concerned officer, jurisdictional officer, and to the authority. What is the amount of the fees to be paid in AAR and what is the amount of the fees to be paid in AAR? Please confirm कितना फी पे करना पड़ेगा AAR के लिए और कितना फी पे करना पड़ेगा AAR के लिए. टोटल AAR 10,000 5 plus 5 and AAR 20,000 10 plus 10. ठीक है. Rectification of mistake 102 says that law gives the power to AAR and AAR to amend their order to rectify any mistake apparent from the record within a period of 6 months from the date of the order. Such mistake may be noticed by the authority on its own or may be brought in the notice by the applicant or the concerned or the jurisdictional officer. If a rectification has the effect of enhancing the tax liability or reducing the ITC, appellant must be heard before the order is passed. What is the difference between the concerned officer and jurisdictional officer? Uh, Such mistake may be noticed by the authority of its own record or may be brought it by the notice of the applicant or the concerned officer or the jurisdictional officer. Like I told you, I have given one example of Madhya Pradesh Advanced Ruling Authority, correct? And wherein there are two members, one member of CGST, one member of SGST. So it can be highlighted by another member, let's say CGST. But I have given the order to Mr. A. A is the taxpayer. Uska jurisdictional officer is like, let's say, assistant commissioner, let's say deputy commissioner. Then either that member, concerned person can highlight or that jurisdictional officer can also highlight. Now, applicability of advanced ruling section 103. An advanced ruling pronounced by the AAR or AAR shall be binding only on the applicant and on the concerned officer or the jurisdictional officer in respect of the applicant. This clearly means that in advance ruling is not applicable to similarly placed other taxable person in the state. It is only limited to the person who is applied for the advance ruling. Very important. So Mr. A, who is doing the business of, let's say, steel, and he has got an advance ruling that tax rate will be 18, not the 12%. I'm just hypothetically saying. Mr. B, who is doing the same nature of the business and in the same locality, can that order be applied on Mr. B? Answer is no. जो AAR का decision है, the decision of AAR is specific to the person who has asked the question. The advance ruling pronounced by the AAR shall be binding only on the applicant and the concerned officer or the jurisdictional officer. The law does not provide for a fixed time period for which the advance ruling shall apply. Instead, it has been provided that advance ruling shall be binding till the period when the law, fact, or circumstances have not been changed. What is the applicability period? Lifetime. जब तक लॉ में कोई चेंजेस नहीं होता, फैक्ट या सर्कमस्टांसेस में चेंज नहीं होता, then decision of that ruling will be applicable. So one of the advanced ruling authority has given the decision that director remuneration, you need to pay the tax under RCM. One of the advanced ruling authority, probably it was Rajasthan advanced. I'm giving you one example to you. Advanced ruling authority saying that you need to pay the tax under reverse charge. Company need to pay the tax under reverse charge, whatever the director remuneration has been paid. Then it was not correct because remuneration per se is employer-employee relationship. I'm talking about the regular director. Then after that decision, there was one circular issued by the CBIC. So once this circular has been issued and they are saying that no GST under RCM on the director remuneration, it is covered in the Schedule 3, like employer-employee relationship. Once the decision has been given by the authority, by the clarification has been given by the CBIC, then whatever the decision has been given by the authority will no longer be in existence. Law does not provide the fixed time, but yes, it will be applicable binding till the period when the law, fact, and circumstances not changed. advance ruling to be void in certain circumstances. Section 104 says the circumstances under which the ruling would be considered as void and hence would lose its binding value. If the authority, AAR or AAR, find that advance ruling has been obtained by fraud, misrepresentation, or suppression of the fact, then it will be the void ab initio. Consequently, all the provision of the GST shall apply to the applicant as if advance ruling has never been made. An order declaring advance ruling to be void can be passed only after hearing the applicant. A copy of the order so made shall be sent to the applicant, concerned officer, and the jurisdictional officer. Concerned officer, again I'm saying, let's say one advance ruling authority has the member, Joint Commissioner CGST, Joint Commissioner SGST. So this copy of the order will be goes to both the officer. But who is the jurisdictional officer? Let's say Assistant Commissioner of SGST. So one copy would be given to this, and one copy would be given to this concerned officer also. Section 105 and Section 106. Power and procedure of R and AAR. Both the advance ruling authority and appellate authority of advance ruling are vested with the power of the civil code and code of the civil procedure for discovery, inspection, enforcing the attendance of the person and examining him on oath, issuing commissions, and compelling the production of the books of accounts and other records. Both the authorities are deemed to be the civil court for the purpose of Section 195. Both the authority, however, not treated as civil court for the purpose of this chapter. Any proceeding before the authority shall be deemed to be the judicial proceeding. And for the purpose of 196 of IPC, the R and AAR shall have the power to regulate its own procedure. Okay. So by this, we have completed the advanced ruling chapter also. So today both the chapter is completed. Now we'll move to the RTP. We'll have the sufficient time to discuss the RTP. Let's ready. And because RTP, along with I solve the RTP, I will ask the parallel question to all. You should all be active. Whomsoever are joined through YouTube or any other, kindly give the answer in the Board of Studies app or kindly give the answer in the Zoom. So we'll meet after 10 minutes. We'll take the break of 10 minutes and then we'll start the RTP first question. मनीष जी एक बार ब्रेक स्टार्ट कर दीजिए 10 मिनट का. Correct. Now let's read the first question to all. Vardhan Limited, hereinafter referred as company, registered in Delhi. He operates in the multiple states across India. Company has taken the separate registration in all the state where it operates. Tell me one thing, that GST number of one state and the GST number of other state of the same organization will be called as. मैं एक स्टेट में एक रजिस्ट्रेशन और दूसरे स्टेट में उसका दूसरा रजिस्ट्रेशन सेम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का, उसको मैं क्या बोलता हूं? व्हाट आई एम यूजिंग द वर्ड? द आंसर इज डिस्टिंक्ट पर्सन. एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. ग्रेट. ड्यूरिंग द मंथ ऑफ जैन, कौन सा महीना है? जनवरी महीने के रिकॉर्ड में हमें क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना है. द टैक्स टीम प्रेजेंट द फॉलोइंग इंफॉर्मेशन. ठीक है, लेट मी रीड दैट. व्हाट आर द इंफॉर्मेशन? Company sold goods value of rupees 5 crore from its warehouse located at Kandla Port, Gujarat, to the buyer located in Ahmedabad by way of the transfer of the title in the goods. Responsibility of clearance of the goods shall be on the buyer. Goods were imported by the company from Vietnam and were not cleared for the home consumption since then. तो इसने कंजम्पशन नहीं किया था एंड देन इट सोल्ड द गुड्स. तो कैन यू टेल मी व्हाट इज मींस, आपको क्या लगता है, इफ द गुड्स वर नॉट क्लियर्ड फॉर होम कंजम्पशन एंड इट इज बीइंग सोल्ड, देन व्हाट डू यू फील? जस्ट आस्किंग, कौन सा प्रोविजन आपके माइंड में क्लिक करता है? बाय रीडिंग दिस, व्हिच प्रोविजन इज क्लिक टू यू? कौन सा प्रोविजन आपको क्लिक करता है? Any provision which clicks immediately by reading these languages only. क्या क्वेश्चन है, क्या आंसर, दैट वी विल डिस्कस सेपरेटली, नो प्रॉब्लम. बट अभी अगर मैं इतना सा बात कहूं, इज देयर एनी प्रोविजन विच विल बी कम्स टू योर माइंड? करेक्ट करेक्ट करेक्ट. समथिंग कम्स टू माइंड. कुछ शेड्यूल 3 का कुछ ट्रांजेक्शन याद आ रहा है, नो प्रॉब्लम, बट इट इज रियली अप्रिशिएटेड कि एटलीस्ट यू कैन गो टू दैट पर्टिकुलर शेड्यूल. वेरी नाइस. कंपनी गॉट ए फेवरेबल एडवांस रूलिंग. अच्छा, अभी हमने एडवांस रूलिंग पढ़ी थी. कंपनी गॉट ए फेवरेबल एडवांस रूलिंग ऑन ए पर्टिकुलर इश्यू फ्रॉम द अथॉरिटी ऑफ एडवांस रूलिंग राजस्थान. द एप्लीकेशन फाइल्ड बाय द कंपनी थ्रू इट्स रजिस्टर्ड place of the business in Rajasthan. Fine. Company received the order from adjudicating authority in Maharashtra, wherein the demand of tax 1 crore, penalty 10 lakh और interest 25 lakh was confirmed by the adjudicating authority. Perfect. Dispute in this case was similar to the issue for which favorable order from advance ruling authority was received by the company in the state of Rajasthan. Company feel that it has a strong case in the matter before the appellate authority. Do you feel so? आपको लगता है ये strong case है? Because it has a favorable decision in the advance ruling of Rajasthan. Will it be the favorable case for appellate authority in Maharashtra? What do you feel? अगर राजस्थान का appellate authority का decision है, will it be binding on the Maharashtra as well? Will it be binding on the Maharashtra as well? Will it be binding on the Maharashtra GST number of the same entity? राजस्थान का एडवांस रूलिंग क्या ये सेम कंपनी अपने दूसरे रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए यूज कर सकती है? नाउ आई एम आस्किंग whether same company can use for the different location. Answer is no. Just now we have discussed 103 that it is only for the applicant, and in the GST we know if Rajasthan has applied for the application, that it means it is only applicable, the decision is binding on that applicant only. Applicant means Rajasthan. It does not have any value for the other state, even by the same permanent same PAN का और registration है. Company has issued the tax invoice in relation to the certain supplies, okay, wherein the total tax collected from the recipient amount to rupees 3 crore. Subsequently, it was noticed that supply were not liable to GST and amount is wrongly collected from the recipient. Okay. Special audit was initiated by the chartered accountant nominated by the Madhya Pradesh State Tax Authority against the company GST number of that state. Now, answer the 5 questions. In relation to the goods sold from the warehouse in Gujarat, the company shall be liable to pay the custom duty and IGST. Kindly select the correct answer. First, select the correct answer. Which option is right? Which option appear to be right? A, B, C or D? R. Prasad has given the answer. Absolutely correct, beta. Waiting for the Prashant, waiting for the Hemant, waiting for like name Motorola or something. Requesting everyone to give the reply. And if you can give the reason also, it would be appreciated. Answer along with slight reason. You already have given the reason. I do agree. But मैं वापस ये चाहूंगा आपसे कि please answer along with reason. I have not received the answer except one participant, that is R. Prasad. The correct answer is D. Correct answer is D. Not liable to pay any tax. Why? And you have given the reason. The reason was Schedule 3. And in the Schedule 3, there is a one entry, para 8 clause A, which talks about para 8, which talks about it is not a supply if the goods has been sold before filing the entry for home consumption. Is there any impact of ITC? I am asking one different question. अब मैं आपसे एक अलग क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूं. What will be the impact of ITC? Whether ITC would be reverse or no reversal is required. Whether ITC would be reversed or no reversal is required. क्या मुझे ITC रिवर्स करना पड़ेगा या no reversal is required? Do I need to reverse any ITC? Do I need to reverse any ITC or no reversal is required? Very, very important question. I am not sure whether it will be asked or not. Just I like to correlate the relevant provision for this entry. The answer is reversal or no reversal. Giving you half minute, 30 seconds. Any other answer? The answer is reversal is required. Reversal is required. Why, sir? Why reversal is required? Now go to the 17 subsection 3. And in the explanation, there is 2 entry of the schedule 3 are covered. Meaning thereby, whatever entry you have in the schedule 3, not required to reverse the ITC because of any transaction of the schedule 3, except 2 items. One is para 5, sale of land and completed building, and second is this entry, para 8A, sale of goods before filing the bill of entry for home consumption. And R Prasad, because of this, you need to reverse the ITC. Apart from these 2 entry, no reversal is required. Because explanation says that there is no reversal requirement as per the schedule 3, but except 2 items. Very nice. Let's move to the question number 2. In relation to the advance ruling order received by the company in Rajasthan, now select the correct answer. Tell me, which one is the correct answer? Read and then tell me which one is the correct answer. Okay, all 3 has given the answer. Order is binding on the company and the jurisdictional officer in the Rajasthan. Absolutely correct. And this point we have discussed, so there is no further requirement of discussion. Okay, let's move to the question number 3. Let's move to the question number 3. In case the company prefer an appeal before the appellate authority against the order passed by the adjudicating authority, कितना pre deposit करना पड़ेगा? What was the order? Let me move. Company has received the order from the adjudicating authority in Maharashtra. Demand was 1 crore of tax, 10 lakh for the penalty, and 25 lakh is for the interest. Total 1 crore 35 lakhs. Now, if they like to make the appeal, कितना pre deposit होगा? What would be the amount of the pre deposit by the company? Very nice question. For your benefit, let me write here. The demand of the tax is 1 crore. Demand of the penalty is 10 lakh. And demand of the interest is 25 lakh. If I'll make it total, then it will be 1.35 crore. What would be the answer? The answer is 10 lakh. Why 10 lakh? The pre-deposit is 10%, but only for the tax component. Very nice, beta. Very nice. The pre-deposit is 10%. Pre-deposit is 10%, but 10% would be of only tax. It will not include interest. It will not include penalty. Okay, let's move further. In case where the tax is wrongly collected by the company, company shall pay the amount to the government. Company shall refund the amount to the recipient. Company shall deposit the amount to the consumer welfare fund. Company retain the amount with itself. In case where the tax is wrongly collected by the company from the recipient, तो company को क्या करना है? Tell me what will the company do? In this case, company को क्या करना है? Refund करना है customer को, return करना है, अपने पास रखना है या गवर्नमेंट को जमा करवाना है? What would be the answer? Requesting everyone to participate. It's not for 1 or 2 participants. The discussion is open for all the participants. चाहे आपको मालूम, whether you know the answer, whether you don't know the answer, whether you know the provision or do not know the provision, doesn't matter. But I will appreciate that kindly give the answer. So Yes, all are correct. First, it will be deposited the government only. Company will deposit to the government. Government in turn will give it to the consumer welfare, whatever it can. But company, whatever they have collected from the customer in the name of the taxes, they have to deposit to the government. So the right answer is A. Right answer is A. Okay. Last question of this particular case study. In case special audit is being undertaken in the Madhya Pradesh, the remuneration of the chartered accountant is payable by the company. Remuneration is payable by the company, but as per directed by the commissioner. Remuneration is payable by the commissioner, but the expenses will be reimbursed by the company. And last is the expenses of the company, including the remuneration, shall be paid by the commissioner. Now tell me, what is the right answer? Will it be C or will it be D? So there are two different answers, C and D. So you mean to say whomsoever is given the C, then you are saying that remuneration by the commissioner, but reimbursement will be by the company. Does it mean that? इसका मतलब ये है कि कुछ पैसा कमिश्नर देगा और कुछ पैसा कंपनी देगा. Am I right? आर प्रसाद. एंड क्लॉज डी में सब कुछ कमिश्नर देगा, ऐसा हमने पढ़ा है. The answer is everything would be paid by the commissioner. Everything would be paid by the commissioner. Nothing would come from company. Otherwise there will be no biasness. मतलब कुछ तो influencing decision दे सकता है toward in favoring the company if something is coming from company. Then they were specifically moved out. ठीक, I hope it is clear. So 5 question कैसा लगा? How you feel? Just give me your thought. Just give me your feeling that कैसा लगा? मतलब we have tried to attempt the RTP because we have the sufficient time today. We could do something else also, but I thought to start the RTP. ठीक है? Nice. Second case study में आते हैं. Welcome to the second case study. बहुत अच्छी बात है हेमंत, बहुत अच्छी बात है ये तो. अगर आप लोगों को समझ में आ रहा है and you are able to handle, then it is a very good that your preparation is up to mark. Try to boost your preparation slight more so that exam would be in your control. Vidyut Corporation Limited is a PSU engaged in the business of generation of electricity from conventional and non-conventional sources. Government of India hold 75% of the equity in the said company, and balance equity is held by the institutional and domestic investor. Company has taken the separate registration in each state where it has the business operation. Company has its head office in Delhi and power plant in Bihar, Odisha, and Chhattisgarh. Following transactions were carried out by the company during the month of Feb. क्या transaction है? Sale of electrical energy to discom. दिल्ली हेड ऑफिस से कुछ भी नहीं है, बिहार से, उड़ीसा से, छत्तीसगढ़, तीनों लोकेशन से. बैंक इंटरेस्ट इज रिसीव्ड ऑन द सेविंग बैंक अकाउंट इन द फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट 18 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh, 8 lakh. Tell me one thing, whether bank interest will be outward supply or inward supply. पहला पॉइंट मुझे बताइए, बैंक इंटरेस्ट which is received on the saving bank account, will it be outward supply or inward supply? क्या ही होगी, आउटवर्ड सप्लाई की इनवर्ड सप्लाई? नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, विल इट बी टैक्सेबल? द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन का आंसर है आउटवर्ड सप्लाई. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन का आंसर है आउटवर्ड सप्लाई. सेकंड इज इट टैक्सेबल सप्लाई और एग्जेम्प्ट सप्लाई? इज इट टैक्सेबल सप्लाई और एग्जेम्प्ट सप्लाई? क्या ये टैक्सेबल है या एग्जेम्प्ट है? राइट, इट इज एग्जेम्प्ट सप्लाई. It is exempt supply. Will it be added in the WTO in the calculation of aggregate turnover? I'm asking all relevant part of the law. क्या ये WTO में add होगा? Answer is yes, it will be added in the WTO. If you read the definition of section 2 clause 6, it says that in the calculation of WTO will add the taxable supply, will add the exempt supply, interstate, export, everything we are adding. ठीक है. Last question. Do I need to reverse the ITC for this exempt supply? If answer is yes or no, give me the support. Give me the legal reasoning for your answer. So I have asked 4 questions. Whether it is an inward or outward supply, you have correctly answered it is outward supply if I'm receiving the interest. Second is whether it is taxable or exempt supply, you have given the right answer, it is exempt supply. Third question, will it be added in the WTO? You have given the correct answer. Yes, sir, it will be added in the WTO. Last question, whether it attract any reversal of ITC. And whatever you give the answer, answer is, it is an exempt supply, but again, no reversal. It is an exempt supply, but no reversal. Why no reversal? If you read the explanation 1 to the rule 43, if you read the explanation 1 to the rule 43, one item is interest, no reversal is required. Second item is duty credit script. हाँ, इंटरेस्ट में इन्होंने लिखा एक्सेप्ट बैंक, बैंक के अलावा, मतलब बैंक है तो उसे रिवर्स करना पड़ेगा, बैंक के अलावा कोई है तो उसे इंटरेस्ट के कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग आईटीसी रिवर्स नहीं करना पड़ेगा. सेकंड इज ड्यूटी क्रेडिट स्क्रिप्ट. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर. हाउस रेंट recovered from the employee for residential accommodation. ठीक है. Will it be forward charge? Will it be RCM or will it be exempted? Who will pay the tax on this transaction? House has been given to the employee. I am recovering the rent. Recovery of the rent from the employee. Will it be under forward charge? Will it be under RCM? What would be your answer? We'll discuss. No problem. We'll discuss. हम अच्छा करेंगे. We'll do the detailed discussion on this part. Rent collected from banks, ATM, post office and shops located in the office premises. So इसमें तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. कॉमर्शियल बिल्डिंग है तो इट विल बी द अंडर. Normally it will be under forward charge. However, there is one exception. Sale of the metal scrap excluding the TCS. तो इतनी वैल्यू का मेटल स्क्रैप सेल किया to the Birla scrap unregistered under the GST. Sale of metal scrap to the Birla scrapper unregistered under GST. Now you tell me, who will pay the tax on this transaction? Unregistered person liable to pay the tax under RCM, or supplier will pay the tax under forward charge in this case? Avinash, whatever you have the doubt, you ask here only. आपका कोई भी डाउट है, काइंडली आस्क. If you will post your doubt, I will answer. So after completion of this question, I will take your doubt. करेक्ट. तो अविनाश, अगर आपका कोई डाउट है, आप अनम्यूट करना चाहते हैं, यू लाइक टू अनम्यूट, जस्ट अलाउ मी, लेट मी कंप्लीट दिस क्वेश्चन, उसके बाद मैं आपको अनम्यूट कर दूंगा. ठीक है, जस्ट मुझे ये क्वेश्चन कंप्लीट करने दीजिए. इट्स योर फर्स्ट डे, नो प्रॉब्लम बेटा. लेट मी कंप्लीट दिस क्वेश्चन, उसके बाद मैं आपको अनम्यूट कर दूंगा. ठीक है. यहां ध्यान रखना, सप्लायर अनरजिस्टर्ड है, सप्लायर रजिस्टर्ड है. लेट्स रीड दिस वंस अगेन. टेल मी वेदर सप्लायर इज रजिस्टर्ड और सप्लायर इज अनरजिस्टर्ड. In this example, the metal scrap, whether supplier is registered or supplier is unregistered. Supplier is registered and the recipient is unregistered. हाँ, regular timing. In addition to the above information, following transactions were carried out during the month of Feb. A supply order for the stationery item was awarded by Delhi head office to the Stationery Mart, New Delhi. 6 to 9. Avinash, 6 to 9 है. Supply order for the stationery item was awarded by Delhi HO to the Stationery Mart, New Delhi for 3,36,000 in January. Vendor supplied the stationery worth of 44,800 and issued the tax notice in the month of Feb. Delhi HO made the payment of the said bill in the Feb by crediting the vendor account for that amount on the same date in the books. Remaining amount was paid in the April. ठीक है. Odisha plant purchased the furniture of 280 during the Feb from an unregistered dealer. Rate of the GST on the said furniture is 18%. Board meeting for raising the term loan for the project expansion was held in Feb. Delhi HO paid 20,000 each as sitting fees for independent director who attend the meeting. Further, it paid 80,000. One of those directors was attending the meeting office building to Delhi. मैं रिपीट करता हूं. द रेंट दिल्ली हेड ऑफिस paid 20,000 each as sitting fees to the independent director who attended the meeting. Further, it paid 80,000. One of these directors who has rented the office building to Delhi HO. Now tell me, what will be the taxability in this case? What would be the taxability in this case? What would be the taxability in this case? Sitting fees paid to the independent director. RCM would be applicable. Now tell me, what would be the taxability in this case? What would be the taxability in this case? Odisha plant purchased the furniture of this amount from an unregistered dealer. Will it be RCM? Will it be forward charge or will it be no tax? Very important question to all. Will it be RCM? Will it be forward charge or will it be no tax? It is no tax. It will be no GST. Absolutely correct, Prashant. No GST. Why no GST? Because furniture, is it covered under 9(3) or 9(4)? Whatever the list or the transaction we have discussed in the RCM chapter, whatever we have discussed in the RCM chapter, does it cover the office furniture? क्या वो furniture cover करता from unregistered? Answer is no, not at all. So therefore, no GST. हाँ अविनाश, मेरे को अभी मैसेज मिल रहा है. नाउ आई हैव रिसीव्ड योर मैसेज, नो टैक्स. एब्सोल्युटली अविनाश, आई एम गेटिंग योर मैसेज नाउ. Now, the what would be the liability of this particular point? Rented the office building to the Delhi head office. What would be the taxability of this transaction? RCM, forward charge or no tax? Just like to understand. RCM, forward charge or no tax? Okay. Everyone. Prashant is saying RCM. Hemant is saying RCM. Very nice. Avinash, R Prasad, Motorola, everyone. What do you think? कौन टैक्स पे करेगा 80,000 to the director paid for the renting of the office building? It appeared to be RCM. We'll discuss. For safety and security of the head office and power plant, the company engaged private security as well as CISF, Central Industry Security Force. Following payment were made in the month of Feb. CISF को इतना पेमेंट किया? 10 lakh from Bihar, 8 lakh from Odisha, 14 lakh from Chhattisgarh. ABS Security Private Limited, 5 lakh paid on 11th Feb. 5 lakh paid on 11th Feb. The Bihar plant purchased the machinery from Messer Sahu Enterprises Patna for 86,000. Full payment was made in the Feb. Now, अगर बिहार कोई परचेज करता है मशीनरी from unregistered supplier, will there be any tax? Forward charge, RCM, no tax. Will it be forward charge? Will it be RCM? Will it be no tax? The answer is no tax. Machine. Hemant, machine is not covered in the list which you have read, you have discussed in the 9394. Therefore, it is not in the reverse charge. It is normally no tax. All the amount are excluding GST. Absolutely correct. Wherever applicable, ठीक है. Now try to give the answer to the question number 6 to 11. Value of the taxable supply on which GST is payable by Delhi head office under forward charge for the month of Feb. Oh my god, it's a long question. Try to solve कि कौन कौन सी सप्लाई है जिसके ऊपर दिल्ली हेड ऑफिस फॉरवर्ड चार्ज में टैक्स पे करेगा. दे आर ओनली सीइंग फॉरवर्ड चार्ज. इट इज नॉट कॉट अंडर आरसीएम. लेट्स मूव फर्दर. एक बार कोशिश करते हैं. तो दिल्ली की बात कर रहा है, ठीक है. वेदर बैंक इंटरेस्ट, विल देयर बी एनी टैक्स लाइबिलिटी ऑन दिल्ली हेड ऑफिस? जस्ट यस और नो. विल देयर बी एनी टैक्स लाइबिलिटी ऑन बैंक इंटरेस्ट? जस्ट यस और नो. एग्जाम सप्लाई है, ठीक है. मैं एक बार एक्सेल सीट भी ओपन कर लेता हूँ सो दैट वी कैन मेक द टोटल. मैं एक बार एक्सेल सीट भी ओपन कर लेता हूँ. So first is bank interest. You are saying no tax, obviously. ठीक है. So next is fine. Next is HRA received from employees for the residential accommodation. Will it be forward charge? Will it be RCM? Will it be no tax? Very important. सी कंपनी रिसीव कर रही है, प्लीज नोट, एच हाउस रेंट रिकवर्ड फ्रॉम द एम्प्लॉय, कंपनी इज रिसीविंग, इट इज नॉट कंपनी इज पेइंग, it is not company is paying, it is receiving for the residential accommodation. Now tell me your answer. मैं कंपनी हूं, मैंने रेजिडेंशियल अकोमोडेशन दिया अपने एम्प्लॉय को, लेट्स से आई एम रिकवरिंग 40%, मैं रजिस्टर्ड हूं, प्रॉपर्टी रेजिडेंशियल है, रिसिपिएंट अनरजिस्टर्ड है, टेल मी, प्रॉपर्टी रेजिडेंशियल है, रिसिपिएंट अनरजिस्टर्ड है, यूज रेजिडेंस है, सप्लाई रजिस्टर्ड है, व्हाट वुड बी द टैक्स लायबिलिटी? बात करेंगे, आई विल होल्ड फॉर सम टाइम, विल टॉक इन, लेट मी कंप्लीट द अदर ट्रांजेक्शन, लेट मी कंप्लीट इन, and then we'll discuss this. This is appear to be important entry because most of the answer I have received wrong. बात करेंगे एक बार, ठीक है? अविनाश, एग्जाम कब ड्यू है? When you are giving the exam in May or November? कब एग्जाम दे रहे हैं आप? In which attempt you are giving the exam? Rent collected from bank, ATM, post office for the commercial. Now tell me, who will pay the tax? क्वेश्चन में एक सेकंड, मुझे एक बार कंफ्यूजन हो गया. ऑल द अमाउंट मेंशन अबव आर एक्सक्लूडिंग टैक्स एंड जीएसटी मुझे कितना मानना है? व्हाट इज द जीएसटी रेट? अच्छा, आई नीड टू गिव द टैक्सेबल वैल्यू ओनली, टैक्सेबल सप्लाईज ओनली. मुझे टैक्स कितना वो नहीं बताना, सिर्फ ओनली टैक्सेबल वैल्यू बतानी है, टैक्सेबल वैल्यू बतानी है. तो यहाँ पे ये पहला क्वेश्चन तो टैक्सेबल वैल्यू का है. नाउ रेंट कलेक्टेड फ्रॉम बैंक फॉर कॉमर्शियल बिल्डिंग रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम received by registered person, property is commercial, what would be the tax? What would be the tax liability? फॉरवर्ड चार्ज, आरसीएम, नो टैक्स, क्या आंसर होगा आपका? अभी रिसिपिएंट क्या है? आर प्रसाद, इट हैज नॉट बीन गिवन. रेंट कलेक्टेड फ्रॉम बैंक, पीएसयू, इट हैज नॉट बीन गिवन कि दैट वेदर दे आर रजिस्टर्ड और नॉट रजिस्टर्ड. दे आर सिंपली सेइंग दैट इट इज एन ऑफिस बिल्डिंग. द आंसर इज इट वुड बी फॉरवर्ड चार्ज मैकेनिज्म. Ideally it should be forward charge mechanism, right? November, okay, no problem beta, no problem, fine. Next part is sale of metal scrap. I am not going into because they are asking for Delhi. And other income 2,50,000, do they need to pay the tax on 250? Do they need to pay the GST on 250? Answer is yes. So let me read once again. House rent recover from the employees for residential accommodation. I have discussed also residential accommodation given to registered person. It would be residential accommodation given to the registered person. It will be under RCM. But if I'm giving the residential accommodation to the unregistered person and use is registered or unregistered, doesn't matter. Let me repeat once again. A residential property, recipient is registered. Residential dwelling, recipient is registered. Answer is RCM. Residential dwelling given to other than registered person, given to unregistered. And if per use is residential, if employee are staying, then obviously we can say it is for residential purpose only. उसका use क्या होगा अगर employee लोग रह रहे हैं? If the employee are staying, we can say that use is the residential. Can we say the use is residential? If answer is yes, then the service itself would be exempted. अविनाश, ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा. स्ट्रेटेजी फॉर द नवंबर एग्जामिनेशन 6 सब्जेक्ट. I cannot guide anything. I can guide only on the GST, but yes, in the last, we will try to ask to ma'am. From the board of studies, we will try to give some pointer on this so that you can have the better strategy for the upcoming exams or in the future exams. ठीक है. तो अभी आप मेरे साथ एग्री कर रहे हैं, यू ऑल आर एग्रीइंग दैट एचआर रिकवर्ड फ्रॉम द एम्प्लॉई residential dwelling given to the residential purpose unregistered person service itself would be exempted. Correct? तो हमारे पास में क्या आया? So only 2 transactions are there, so the total value would be 2,98,000. एक काम करते हैं ना, let me again write every line item. Write every line item in that Excel sheet. ठीक है. अभी मैंने एक्सेल शीट ओपन कर दिया. ठीक है, हम सभी लाइन आइटम को लिख लेते हैं. सभी लाइन आइटम को लिख लेते हैं और विल राइट फॉर ईच लोकेशन ऑल्सो. इट विल सेव द टाइम. अगेन मतलब हमें बार बार आना पड़ेगा, अदरवाइज देयर इज नो वैल्यू. इट इज exempted. It is exempted. So I can say for all location it is exempted. Bihar, Odisha and Chhattisgarh. So Bihar, Odisha and Chhattisgarh. ठीक है. So first it is exempted. Okay, no problem. And second line item, sale of electricity energy to the discom. We'll discuss. अभी तो हम सिर्फ एक house rent recovered from the employee for residential accommodation. So I can say it is also exempted in the GST. ठीक है. Rent collected, it will be under forward charge. What is the amount for other location? What is the amount for other location? 15,000, 12,000 and 16,000. Tell me one thing, whether electricity energy to the discom, it is taxable under forward charge or RCM or no tax? क्या है? Electricity energy to the discom, taxable under forward charge, RCM or exempted? Answer is exempted. Correct. Answer is exempted. Very nice, beta. Very nice. Let me move to the next question. Let me move to the next question. Next point. Then sale of metal scrap. So what is the provision? You all tell me what is the provision. Let me open that particular question. Just मैं आपसे provision पूछ रहा हूँ. Sale of the metal scrap by the registered person. What is the taxability? It is under RCM. It is under forward charge or no tax. Sale of metal scrap to Bidla scrapper unregistered. Registered to unregistered. क्या ये RCM आएगा, फॉरवर्ड चार्ज में आएगा या नो टैक्स है? Who will pay the tax if registered person supplying the metal scrap to unregistered person? Very important question I am saying. Very important point. अगर metal scrap, see when it will come under RCM, the supply is unregistered, recipient is registered. then it come under RCM. When it will come under RCM, the supplier is unregistered, recipient is registered, then it will come under RCM. Correct? If supplier become registered, then there will be no RCM. Avinash, मैं जरूर will definitely try to respond. ये आपने अभी पूछा है? Have you asked now only? So it will be under forward charge. क्या value है? Let me write the value. Let me write the value. 85,000, 65,000, 45,000. 85,000, 65,000, and then 45,000. ठीक है. अदर इनकम क्या है? अदर इनकम इज, काफी पीछे चले गए क्या? अदर इनकम इज 2,50,000 and लास्ट में 45,000. So by this we have just plotted all the figure in the I think Excel sheet. बट अभी तक हमारा आरसीएम का पेंडिंग है. ठीक है, वो भी एक बार हम लिख लेते हैं. तो अभी पहले क्वेश्चन का आंसर मिल गया. लेट्स सी द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Let's see the first question. What is the right answer? Let's see the first question. What is the right answer? The value of the taxable supplies. It would be 298. Do you agree with me? It will be the 298. Okay. How the 298 was calculated? How the 298 was calculated? And this is the calculation you all have. एक तो 48,000 and second is 2,50,000. I hope it is clear to you. And total taxable supply under forward charge. Now there would be some RCM also which we will discuss. ठीक है, एक बार मूव करते हैं. Second question. The value of the taxable inward supply on which GST is payable under RCM for Bihar. Now let's calculate for Bihar. A supply order for stationery item was awarded by Delhi HO. It was 3,36,000 for January. We are calculating for which month? Is it January or is it February? We are doing the calculation for Jan or we are doing the calculation for Feb? We are doing the calculation for Jan or we are doing the calculation for Feb? Answer is Feb. फरवरी का कैलकुलेशन कर रहे हैं हम लोग, राइट? तो जनवरी में क्या हुआ? I can simply ignore. The vendor supplied the stationery 44,800 including GST at the rate of 12% and issue the tax on us in the month of Feb. क्या होगा इसका? Just allow some time. ठीक है. Odisha plant purchase the machinery. We have already discussed that there is no RCM. Board meeting, Delhi HO. So in Delhi head office, I can write board meeting. RCM would be applicable, right? Now, board meeting 20,000 into 4 director. 20,000 into 4 director. Total 80,000. Correct. And then 80,000 to one of the director to Delhi head office. Office building rent to director. Just for the time being, I am not writing anything. We'll discuss. ठीक है. Rented the office building. Building is commercial. Recipient is registered and supplier is appear to be unregistered. Who will pay the tax? Forward charge or RCM? In this case, forward charge or RCM? अविनाश कोई बात नहीं बेटा, because अभी क्लास चल रही है ना, that is the reason. Currently the class is going on ना, that is the reason. Once I will complete, then ma'am का time will come at 8:50. Ma'am will speak at 8:50. At that टिल तब तक आप वेट कीजिएगा, टिल दैट टाइम आई रिक्वेस्ट यू टू वेट। ठीक है, ठीक है। तो अभी मुझे बिहार प्लांट के लिए बताइए, नाउ टेल मी फॉर द बिहार प्लांट, क्वेश्चन किसके लिए? फॉर बिहार प्लांट। तो अभी आपने ये कहा विल इट कम अंडर आरसीएम? टेल मी, विल इट कम अंडर आरसीएम? विल इट कम अंडर आरसीएम? Will it come under RCM? Answer is no. It will not come under RCM. Will it come under RCM? Answer is no. It will no RCM. ठीक है, no RCM. Correct. It is not exempted because supplier is unregistered, so therefore I can say it is not covered under RCM. Point number 5 is clear. Will the CISF securities come under RCM? And if yes, then why? Will the CISF securities come under RCM? If yes, then why? Will the CISF securities come under RCM? If yes, then why? You remember there is a please note there is one important entry which talks about security service provided by body corporate or other than body corporate. Who should be the supplier? Should be the body corporate or other than body corporate? Serial number 14 I am talking about security personnel given by the body corporate or other than body corporate? Other than body corporate. Whether CISF is the body corporate, CISF एक body corporate है? नहीं सर, ये body corporate नहीं है. And given to whom? Registered person, unregistered person, government recipient, government supplier. अगर किसको देता है, who is the recipient, then the transaction will come under RCM. Answer is registered person. Answer is registered person ना, या body corporate? Absolutely correct. Registered person located in the taxable territory. Located in the taxable territory. Therefore, this transaction will come under RCM. Any doubt on this? I feel there should be one doubt. I expect there should be the one doubt. If you can ask, it would be really appreciated. अगर आप मुझे डाउट बता सकते हैं ना, एक डाउट आना चाहिए. I personally feel there should be one doubt. So मैंने ये वाला लिख लिया. I hope you are able to see my Excel sheet ना. हाँ, अभी Excel sheet visible है. And then ठीक है. ABS Security Services Private Limited, is it a body corporate? Is it a body corporate? Yes. Will it be covered under RCM? No RCM. It will be under forward charge. So therefore, I am not writing the value. यहाँ पे कोई value नहीं था. So there could be one doubt. If you have any doubt, you can ask. It appears that you do not have that doubt. Okay, let me ask the question. If the security services provided to a government, then in which case the RCM would not be applicable? Security personnel service given to two categories of the person, then RCM will not be applicable. See, that I do agree. It should be the recipient registered in the GST. That is agreed. But if the supplier is other than body corporate, all the conditions are satisfied, then also all the conditions with respect to category satisfied, with respect to supplier satisfied, with respect to recipient satisfied, then also there are two categories in which no RCM. Tell me those two categories. And I was expecting this one category should be given by you. एक कैटेगरी आपको देनी चाहिए। बहुत बढ़िया बेटा, बहुत बढ़िया। If the recipient is registered only for the purpose of section 51, that is government who is registered for TDS, government who is registered for TDS, only for the TDS, then no RCM by the government. And second is my God, very nice Prashant, very nice Prashant. Composition, this is the only entry in which composition is not required to discharge the liability under RCM. This is the only entry under which composition not required to discharge the TDS, discharge the RCM का liability. Otherwise सभी में. अभी हमारा क्या हुआ? As of now, there is no entry except 10 lakh. तो आंसर would be, तो इस केस में आंसर क्या आएगा आपका? क्योंकि मुझे लगता है हमने सारी एंट्री डिस्कस कर ली. So there should be, if the 10 lakh option is there, taxable inward supply on which GST is payable under RCM. So I think 10 lakh is the answer. I hope there is no doubt. किसी को डाउट तो नहीं है? Third question. The value of the supply on which TDS shall be deducted by Delhi HO while making the payment to stationery mart in Fab. TDS भी होगा क्या यहाँ पे? How the TDS would come into the picture? PSU के ऊपर TDS है क्या? Can you tell me whether PSU is covered under TDS? Whether PSU are covered under TDS, just can you please confirm? PSU are covered under TDS, can? Just ask. Answer is yes, they are covered. They are covered. So tell me, in the month of the Fab, first question, will the TDS be applicable? Will the TDS be applicable? If yes, then what would be the amount? So will the TDS be applicable? The limit कितनी है? 2.5 लाख ना. फरवरी में तो सिर्फ 44,800 की सप्लाई है. Will the TDS be applicable? Will the TDS be applicable? Because in the month of the Fab, only 44,000 ka invoice was there. And we all know the limit is 2.50 lakhs. We all know the limit is 2.50 lakh. Tell me, will the TDS be applicable? Answer is yes, because total contract value we are looking, and in this case, total contract value is 3 lakh. More than 2.5 lakh, therefore the TDS would be applicable in this case. On which value TDS would be deducted? What is the question? Question क्या है? The question is, the value of the supply on which TDS will be deducted. Will it be 44,800, 40,000, entire 3 lakh, or TDS not applicable? Tell me. First answer is yes, TDS is applicable because the total contract value exceeding, and TDS would be deducted only for the value of the transaction for the tax period. In this example, value is 44,800. So the TDS would be deducted 44,800 including GST or excluding GST. Now the question is, will it be deducted including GST or excluding GST? All have given the correct answer. 44,800 divided by 12 multiplied by 100. 44,800 multiplied by 100 divided by, sorry, not 12, 112. तो मतलब 12% है, तो उसमें कितना आएगा? 40,000 would be the value and 4,800 would be the tax, right? So what is the right answer? In the question number 8, what would be the right answer? The 40,000 is the value on which the TDS would be deducted. Next question, the value of taxable inward supplies on which GST shall be payable under RCM by Delhi head office and Odisha. Delhi कितना पे करेगा, उड़ीसा कितना पे करेगा? We have already calculated. we have already calculated, right? कितना है? So, okay, टोटल लगाना पड़ेगा ना. Delhi plant will be 80,000, Odisha plant will be 8 lakh. We have calculated, so not going into too much discussion. We have already calculated in the Excel sheet, so not going into the too much discussion. So right answer is 80,000 and 8 lakh. 80,000 रुपए and 8 lakh रुपए, right? Question number 10. Which of the following statement is most appropriate with respect to metal scrap by the Chhattisgarh plant? GST on value of the supply 45,000 is payable by Birla scrapper under reverse charge. ठीक है. GST on 45,000 is payable under forward charge. GST on 45,450 is payable under forward charge, and sale of the metal scrap on which TCS is being collected is an exempt supply. Very nice question. From two perspective, it is very nice question. First, we have already discussed that will it be under RCM, will it be under forward charge. But two, that what could be the value? So, supply of the metal scrap and the 1% TCS. So, for example, 45,000 is the value. The TCS component under income tax, it is 450. तो जो GST charge होगा, will it be including TCS or will it be excluding TCS? You tell me. The first point we have discussed, it will be under forward charge. Absolutely correct. It will be under forward charge. Second question which we need to answer, that इसमें क्या TCS component include होगा या exclude होगा? Along with reason, it is a really nice question. क्या टीसीएस ऐड होगा और टोटल वैल्यू पे जीएसटी चार्ज होगा, या टीसीएस इंक्लूड नहीं होगा, सिर्फ 45,000 पर जीएसटी चार्ज होगा? वाई एक्सक्लूडिंग टीसीएस? वाई एक्सक्लूडिंग टीसीएस? We all know that there is a provision in the GST कि any taxes, any duties levied on any transaction, the GST will be, that particular tax will be included in the value. Then still you are saying it is not including. You are correct, but why you are saying that it is not included? Because the clarification given by the CBIC that TCS is not the levy. TCS is not the levy, it is mere collection. And what we need to add? Taxes and duty which are levied under any law. Because TCS is not levied, and therefore this TCS will not be added. So the GST would be under forward charge basis, and the value will be 45,000. So kindly select the correct answer. Kindly select the correct answer. इसमें correct क्या होगा? Can you please tell me what will be the correct answer? A, B, C, D. Yes, answer is B, 45,000 under forward charge basis. Now, tell me which entries will come under, which of the following supplies are not taxable under RCM. So, आपको बताना है 1, 2, 3. There are 3 entry which are not taxable under RCM. हाँ, एंट्री नंबर 1 RCM में कवर्ड है या नहीं है? Either it will be forward charge or exempted or RCM. ठीक है, तो पहली वाली एंट्री हाउस रेंट रिकवर्ड फ्रॉम द एम्प्लॉय फॉर द रेजिडेंशियल अकोमोडेशन, टैक्सेबल अंडर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज, taxable under RCM या exempted? Forward charge RCM or exempted? Forward charge RCM or exempted? Exempted. So it is not taxable under RCM. It is not taxable under RCM. ठीक है. Rent collected from bank in office premises, is it under RCM or not under RCM? Is it under RCM? Is it under RCM? Answer is, because it is an office building, commercial building given by the registered person, it will be under forward charge basis. It will not under RCM. Sale of the metal scrap to the Birla scrapper, unregistered person, forward charge RCM or no tax? Forward charge RCM or no tax? It is FCM. So this was exempted. So it is not taxable under reverse charge. This is taxable under forward charge. So I can say not taxable under reverse charge. This is also taxable under forward charge. So I can say not taxable under reverse charge. So all three are not covered under RCM. Question number 11 का right answer B. ठीक है? Is it clear to all? Is it clear to all? ठीक है, let's take a break of 5-7 minutes. We will resume in 5 minutes. 17-18. We'll resume at 8:25. We'll resume at 8:25 and we'll try to cover one more question. We'll try to cover one more question. Okay. We'll resume after 5 or 7 minutes. At 8:25, we will start the discussion and we'll take some question of the RTP. Thank you. For 5-minute break, kindly start. Manish. So I am not taking the question 13 because which is a longer question. Time permit, then we'll discuss tomorrow. कल हमारा 2 चैप्टर है, अगर हम कंप्लीट कर पाए देन डेफिनेटली वी विल स्टार्ट विद द चैप्टर विद द क्वेश्चन नंबर 13. डिटेल्ड क्वेश्चन है, बड़ा जो प्रैक्टिकल का आता है ना 14 मार्क का, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन, विल डिस्कस. ठीक है, अभी स्मॉल स्मॉल क्वेश्चन हम लेते हैं. एंड नाउ टेल मी द आंसर फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन. Smith Inc., a company located in USA, charging subscription fees from unregistered customer in India for online money gaming. The department contained that GST would be charged on the subscription fees from Indian customer. Smith Inc. opposed to the above view, stating that online money gaming are intangible goods and do not cross custom for entire of India physically, and therefore no GST leviable. Considering the above fact, आप आंसर दीजिए, what would be the place of supply in this case and why? What would be the place of supply in this case and why? Answer is, as we all know, that in the place of the supply, how many sections are there? In the place of the supply, how many sections are there? 10, 11, 12, 13. Correct? 10 is for goods within the India. 10, 11 is for goods outside import or export. 12 is for services, supplier and customer, both are in India. 13 is for services, any one party is in India and any one party is outside India. Tell me, online money gaming is a goods or service? Tell me, online money gaming is a goods or service? Online money gaming is a goods or service? Multiple time we have discussed, right? Multiple time we have discussed. Answer is yes, it is a goods. It is actionable claim. It is an actionable claim. And if you go to the definition of the goods, it says that goods include actionable claim. Therefore, online money gaming, which is an actionable claim, is goods. Fine. Now, in case of the goods, what is the place of supply? As per section 11, the location of importer would be it is an import of goods, right? Now, person sitting outside India providing the goods to me in India, then it is import in my hand. So I can say the location of importer would be the place of supply. Whether GST is payable on the subscription fees asked to unregistered customer if yes, who is required to pay. Any idea कि क्या इस केस में GST लगेगा? अगर लगेगा तो कौन पे करेगा? Who will pay? Any idea? Will the GST be leviable in this case? If yes, then who will pay the GST? Now, one thing is clear now. Online money gaming is a physical goods or intangible goods? Online money gaming is a physical goods or intangible goods? Is it a physical goods or intangible goods? All are saying intangible. So one thing is sure now, it will not come through custom. It will not through custom territory, right? It will not come through custom territory. Am I right? ऐसा फिजिकली तो आएगा नहीं ऑनलाइन मनी गेमिंग कि मान लो कोई कस्टम हाउस से होता हुआ हमारे पास आ रहा है. It will not come like that, right? It will not be routed through custom territory. So can custom charge the GST? Can custom charge the GST? क्या custom will charge the GST on that? क्या बिल ऑफ एंट्री फाइल होगा? सर कुछ भी नहीं होगा. Nothing will come in this case. तो क्या होगा? If it is not coming, if it is not crossing through custom, then the GST cannot be charged through like bill of entry. Recall the provision given in the IGST Act 5(1), which talks about that in case of the import of the goods, it will be collected as per the provision given in the custom. But उसमें एक exception carve out किया है. उन्होंने कहा कि in case of like specified actionable claim, GST, in case of the import of actionable claim, GST would be charged in the manner prescribed. And Section 14 capital A, Section 14 capital A, Section 14 capital A of IGST has prescribed the manner online money gaming में GST will always be under forward charge. GST will always be under forward charge whether the recipient is registered or recipient is unregistered. ठीक है, तो हमेशा मैं एक पॉइंट जब भी मैं अगर if I would be teaching this online money gaming वाला डिस्कशन, तो एक पॉइंट हमेशा ध्यान रखना, OIDAR versus online money gaming. Let's say if I have to draw the difference, अगर मुझे डिफरेंस ड्रॉ करना है दोनों में, तो मैं क्या ड्रॉ करूंगा? मैं दोनों के केस में ये कह रहा हूं, supplier is outside India. Now draw the difference. First, OIDAR is a goods or services. OIDAR is a services, but online money gaming is a goods. ठीक है, it is covered by section 14 and it is covered by section 14A. When the registration का liability will come on the OIDAR, when the mandatory registration, so mandatory registration given in the section 24 clause 11, it is also given in the 24 11A. When the OIDAR need to take registration mandatorily if the recipient is unregistered, and here recipient whether registered or unregistered. So technically we are not saying unregistered, we are using the one technical term, non-taxable online recipient. Taxability will be under forward charge if recipient is unregistered, if recipient is NTOR, and it will be under RCM if recipient is registered. Okay, and in this case always FC. This difference is important in both the cases because if the question will come, you might get confused. So OIDAR, online information database access retrieval services, supplier outside India, recipient in India, if registered, then that OIDAR would not be liable to pay the tax. The RCM will be applicable. If the recipient in India is unregistered, like NTOR, technically we are using the word NTOR, non-taxable online recipient, liability would be shifted. Liability would be shifted on the OIDAR, need to take registration and pay the GST under forward charge. But in online money gaming, whether the recipient is registered or unregistered, in both the cases, the liability would be on the online money gaming supplier. Okay, I hope it is clear. We have discussed all the point. Next question. Mr. Divas, a registered person in Agra, purchased the car for 12,50,000 on 15th of October. On 31st October, car met with an accident resulting in the minor damage. Due to the urgency, he got his car repaired in the local garage of a nearby market instead of the garage authorized by his insurance company, Surekha Insurance, through which car was insured. Okay. The total cost of repair was 54,000. Fine. Excluding GST. On the instruction of Mr. Divas, the invoice for the entire amount was raised by the garage in the name of the insurance company. The insurance company approved a claim of 40,000 after the survey, and the amount has been reimbursed along with GST at the rate of 18%. In light of the above, you are required to give the answer whether Suraksha Insurance Company is eligible to claim the ITC on the basis of the invoice raised by the garage. If yes, what would be the amount of eligible credit? Very simple question. इस केस में क्या इंश्योरेंस कंपनी को आईटीसी मिल जाएगा? अगर हाँ, तो कितना मिलेगा? Any view of the house? कोई भी व्यू आपका? सबसे पहले ये बताइए, क्या मोटर कार की इंश्योरेंस का आईटीसी मिलता है? विल द मोटर कार की रिपेयर इंश्योरेंस इनका आईटीसी मिलता है? वेदर इंश्योरेंस रिपेयर ऑफ द मोटर कार, विल द आईटीसी बी एलिजिबल? Prima facie is not eligible, correct, but there are two exceptions. Can you tell me in which case the ITC would be entitled? I'm not reading this question. I'm going to the section 17, subsection 5, clause AB. We normally say that servicing, repair, etc., the ITC will not be available. But in which case the two clause was there? First clause, yes, you can unmute yourself. Do you like to ask any question? If anybody like to ask any question, can unmute and then ask. So fine, it is covered in the exception given. There are three exceptions. Yes, it is covered. And second exception, if you recall, insurance company and manufacturing the motor car company, insurance company are allowed to take the ITC. Insurance company are allowed to take the ITC. So that first you will give the reference of 17.5. You will give the reference of 17.5. Okay. And then you will give the reference of it is covered in the exception, so ITC would be available. There was specifically one circular regarding this, which you can quote. And what would be the amount of the ITC would be eligible? कितना ITC मिलेगा इस केस में? इस केस में ITC कितना मिलेगा? ITC मिलेगा 40,000 का, to the extent of amount paid. कितना? 40,000 का GST पे करेगा ना, 40,000 plus taxes he will pay. So therefore ITC would be available to the insurance company only 40,000 plus GST. 7,000 18 7,200 का आईटीसी मिलेगा इस केस में. इज दैट क्लियर? इज दैट क्लियर? एक बार कंफर्म करना. इन दिस केस द आईटीसी वुड बी एलिजिबल ऑफ 7,200. ठीक है. नाउ व्हाट वुड बी योर आंसर इफ जो गराज कंपनी है, टू डिफरेंट इनवॉइस, वन फॉर 40,000 टू द इंश्योरेंस कंपनी एंड सेकंड फॉर 14,000 टू द मिस्टर देवा? क्या कोई फर्क पड़ता कि इस केस में will it make any difference in your answer कि कितना ITC मिलेगा if they split the invoice to the extent amount is being reimbursed? ठीक है. तो वो जो गैरेज कंपनी है, गराज कंपनी है, वो इनवॉइस रेज कर रही है टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ अमाउंट रिम्बर्स 40,000. इस केस में देयर विल बी नो चेंज इन द आंसर बिकॉज इन द आंसर टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, आंसर टू द क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 it was 40,000 plus GST. सिर्फ 40,000 के ऊपर ITC मिलेगा. Here also the answer would be same, 40,000 के ऊपर ITC मिलेगा. Now suppose if the garage company issue the invoice in the name of the Devas instead of Suraksha Insurance, will the Suraksha Insurance be eligible to avail the ITC? अगर इनवॉइस पूरा इनवॉइस अगर ये जो मिस्टर दिवास है उसके नाम पे इश्यू होता, क्या इसको आईटीसी मिल जाता? The answer is no. ITC would not be eligible because how many conditions are there for taking the input tax credit? How many conditions are there for taking the input tax credit in 16(2)? There are 5 conditions, 4 conditions, 6 conditions, whatever you give the answer. But one condition was there has to be the tax invoice. Second condition was there has to be the transaction should appear in your GST R2B. If the garage company has not issued the invoice in the Suraksha insurance, will this invoice be appear in the 2B? क्या ये इनवॉइस उसके 2B में अपीयर होगा सुरक्षा इंश्योरेंस के? हो ही नहीं सकता सर. It will never appear. So here you can give the answer that there is no tax invoice, it will not appear in the 2B, not satisfying the condition of 16(2), therefore no ITC would be available. No ITC would be available. ठीक है. List the scenario where the goods or conveyance are liable to be confiscated under section 130. किसी को भी एक या दो सिनेरियो याद है? Anybody would remember the 1 or 2 scenarios of the section 130? किसी को भी एक या दो सिनेरियो याद है सेक्शन 130 का? यहाँ पे गुड्स कॉन्फिस्केट या गुड्स लायबल टू बी कॉन्फिस्केशन या कन्वेंस लायबल टू बी कॉन्फिस्केशन है. तो डिस्कस कपल ऑफ सिनेरियोस. सिनेरियो का हमने बात किया था. कैन यू रिकॉल दैट सिनेरियो? एनी वन सिनेरियो. अगर आप मुझे एक सिनेरियो बता पाए तो बता दीजिए. Supplying the goods with the contravention of supplying the goods with the contravention of supplying the goods or goods in contravention of provision of the GST with an intention to evade the tax does not account for the goods. ठीक है. Does not account for the goods on which he is liable to pay the tax. Supply the goods without registration, contravening any of the provision of the law, and the last was it was talking about using the conveyance without the as a mean of the transport for carrying the goods. Fine. ये आप एक बार देख लीजिएगा. Then I think it is for so by this we have completed the discussion for today class, and let me ask couple of questions from the today chapter, and then we'll hand over the same to the ma'am, and ma'am will continue the session. So quickly tell me where the appeal will be made against the advance ruling. If you are not satisfied with the advance ruling decision, where you will give the appeal, where you will make the appeal? Appellate authority of advance ruling. How much fees? How much fees? कितना फीस देना पड़ेगा appellate authority for advance ruling को? टोटल बताइएगा. टोटल. Answer is 20,000. In which case there is no fees. कब फीस नहीं लगेगा? In case of advance ruling authority, appellate authority for advance ruling AAR में. When there will be no fees. Yes. अगर department if the department like to go for the appeal, then yes. What is the time limit for making the appeal against the decision of the AAR? What is the time limit within that we need to make the appeal against the decision of advance ruling authority? कुछ time limit होगा, right? कितना time limit है? Yes, it is 30 days. It is 30 days. And is there any condonation of delay? कुछ condonation available है? Is there any condonation of delay? कुछ दिन का कंडोनेशन मिलता है क्या? यस, इट इज अवेलेबल एंड 30 days. 30 days, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. नॉर्मल टाइम लिमिट कितनी है विद इन विच दे विल गिव द डिसीजन? नॉर्मल टाइम लिमिट विद इन विच दे विल गिव द डिसीजन? Answer is 90 days. Answer is 90 days. Can you list me 3 scenarios on which you can ask the question of advance ruling? You can ask the question to the advance ruling authority. कौन से ऐसे 3 या 4 जो भी आप बता पाओ जिसमें मैं अपने क्वेश्चन एडवांस रूलिंग अथॉरिटी को पूछ सकता हूं? Absolutely correct. Hemant has given the right answer for first. Think and then give me the answer. कौन कौन से वो सिनेरियोज हैं in which we can ask the question to the advance ruling authority? Yes. Okay. Hemant, Prashant, Motorola S40, R. Prashant. You all have given the correct answer. Thank you so much that you could probably you could recall all the scenarios given in that 97 subsection 2. Time of supply, value of the supply, liability to pay the taxes, ITC मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा, registration के requirement, applicability of the notification, my transaction is supply or not, classification, everything is being covered up by all. Tell me which of the transaction or which of the question I can't ask to the advanced ruling authority. कौन सा ऐसा question है जो I cannot ask to the advanced ruling authority? नहीं, the answer is place of supply. Place of supply. Is there any validity on the decision given by the advanced ruling? What is the validity? Till what time it is applicable? कब तक ये applicable होगा? किस period तक ये applicable होगा? Is there any ending period to the decision of advanced ruling? Is there any ending date to the decision of advanced ruling? No. Unless there is a change in the fact, change in the law, और चेंज इन द सर्कमस्टांसेस, व्हाटएवर लॉ फैक्टर सर्कमस्टांसेस अगर सेम है तब तक कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, अदरवाइज जब भी चेंज होगा तब डिसीजन ही खत्म हो जाएगा. इफ द एडवांस रूलिंग अथॉरिटी मेंबर आर नॉट मतलब come to the conclusion, then they will not give the decision or it will be passed on to someone else. Member of the advanced ruling authority unable to frame the decision because they have the divergent view. Now, will the decision be given? Will the decision not been given? Or will it be forwarded to someone else? Absolutely correct. It will be passed to the appellate authority of advanced ruling. And if they are having the same view, they are also unable to frame the decision. If they are also unable to frame the decision, then suppose वो लोग भी decide नहीं कर पा रहे हैं तो क्या होगा? Then no advance ruling, no decision will be given. No decision will be given. No decision will be given. फीस का कुछ नहीं. No answer. No answer. Nothing has been given in the law. Nothing has been given in the law. Can we ask the past transaction to the advanced ruling authority? Can we ask the past transaction to the advanced ruling authority? No, we can't. Either it should be being undertaken or it should be proposed to be undertaken. It cannot be the past transaction. It can't be the past transaction. The last question for the advanced ruling authority, the decision are binding to whom? The decision are binding to whom? मैं करता हूं. जस्ट एक बार हैंड रेज करना, मैं अभी करता हूँ, जस्ट अलाउ मी 1 मिनट। Yes. Now you can unmute and ask your question. You can unmute or ask your question.
सर यहाँ तो एडवांस रूलिंग मना कर रहे हैं सर, पर डायरेक्ट टैक्स में तो सर प्रीवियस मतलब पीछे के भी क्वेश्चन पे और आगे के भी क्वेश्चन पे सर हम मतलब ट्रांजेक्शन उसमें दोनों में ले सकते हैं सर।
हाँ बट डिफरेंट है ना, यहाँ मना कर रहे हैं, यहाँ मना कर रहे हैं, राइट।
और सर आपने बताया था कि यहाँ पे बोर्ड फॉर एडवांस रूलिंग लेके आए, अभी भी सर डायरेक्ट टैक्स में एडवांस रूलिंग की ऑथोरिटी ही चल रही है सर, अथॉरिटी फॉर एडवांस रूलिंग ही चल रही है, तो क्या दोनों के अलग अलग हो गए सर मतलब डिपार्टमेंट, या फिर?
नहीं नहीं,
ओके ओके।
मतलब जीएसटी में दो है। एक आपको अपील का मौका दिया गया है, सपोज इफ यू आर नॉट सेटिस्फाइड विद द ऑर्डर यू हैव द राइट टू मेक द अपील टू द अपीलेट अथॉरिटी। इनकम टैक्स में क्या है मुझे आइडिया नहीं है, बट यहां पर कंपैरिजन एप्लीकेबल भी नहीं हो सकता। सी
नहीं
एवरी
नहीं सर,
एक्ट
आपने
कैन।
आपने
हाँ
जी जी आपने बताया था ना सर कि यहाँ पे बोर्ड शब्द को मतलब अथॉरिटी फॉर एडवांस रूलिंग को हटा के बोर्ड फॉर एडवांस रूलिंग लेके आए, उसमें कुछ मतलब चेंज किया कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में।
नहीं नहीं, मैंने ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं बताया,
जी
मैंने
सर,
ऐसा
फिर
बिल्कुल भी नहीं
डी डी
बताया।
हाँ जी डीटी में सर, डीटी में वहाँ पे अथॉरिटी फॉर एडवांस रूलिंग को हटा के बोर्ड फॉर एडवांस रूलिंग लेके आए, जबकि आईडीटी में भी यही चल रही है, अथॉरिटी फॉर एडवांस
ओके
रूलिंग ही
ओके,
चल रही
हाँ मैंने ऐसा कुछ नहीं बताया, बिकॉज
है।
अथॉरिटी ऑफ एडवांस
सर
रूलिंग
डीटी
एंड
की
अपीलेट
फैकल्टी ने
अथॉरिटी ऑफ
बताया होगा।
एडवांस। करेक्ट करेक्ट
जी
करेक्ट
जी
करेक्ट।
जी।
Any other question? Any member have kindly raise your hand, so I will unmute and then you can ask the question. Any participant like to ask? Please raise your hand. I will unmute and then you can ask the question. Fine. So, ma'am, over to you. Now, from my side, it's completed. Tomorrow we will have the last class for this continuous discussion, and we will do the tomorrow last class.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah.
हाँ, एक एक मेंबर और पूछना। यस
हाँ,
यस,
Motorola Edge.
आप नाम क्या आपका?
माधव माधव माधवेंद्र।
ओके माधव, बताएं।
Nagin.
सर जी जी सर, मुझे पूछना है ना कि जैसे मतलब सर्विस प्रोवाइडर है ना सर, वो कहीं मतलब कोलकाता में रजिस्टर्ड है और उसने कोई चेन्नई के पर्सन को, रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन को सर्विस दिया इवेंट मैनेजमेंट का, और वो जो सर्विस दिया वो दिल्ली में और एक सिंगापुर में दिया गया है, तो अब ये पीओएस कहाँ पे होगा, प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई कहाँ पे होगा सर? तो इसमें तो आंसर में
ट्रांजेक्शन।
बताया जा रहा है कि
हाँ।
जी
हम्म।
ट्रांजेक्शन न्यू दिल्ली में हुआ और सिंगापुर में हुआ, जिस पर्सन ने रेसिपिएंट है वो चेन्नई में रजिस्टर्ड है, और जो सप्लायर है वो कोलकाता में रजिस्टर्ड है,
करेक्ट।
तो ऐसे सर में मतलब इस केस में प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई कहाँ पे होगा?
आप बताओ, 12 सबसेक्शन 7
सर
क्या कहता है?
चेन्नई चेन्नई चेन्नई।
तो 12
Recipient का
सबसेक्शन 7
location.
सबसे पहले क्या कहता है? द लोकेशन ऑफ रेसिपिएंट, अगर वो रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन है। यहाँ पे आप
जी।
खुद कह रहे हैं कि रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन है,
हम्म।
तो इन दैट केस इट विल बी द
तो
एक्चुअल प्लेस। एक्चुअल प्लेस कहाँ पे, वो इग्नोर कर देंगे। द लोकेशन ऑफ कस्टमर वुड बी द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई।
ठीक है सर, सेक्शन 12 से तो समझ में आ रहा है, पर सर अभी दिक्कत क्या हो रहा है कि सर्विस प्रोवाइडर अभी जहां भी रजिस्टर्ड है सर, दूसरे स्टेट में सर्विस दे नहीं सकता जब तक वो रजिस्टर्ड नहीं होगा।
ऐसा किसने
मतलब
कहा?
नहीं मतलब एक स्टेट में सर हम रजिस्टर्ड होंगे तो दूसरे स्टेट में विदाउट रजिस्ट्रेशन सर्विस दे सकते हैं।
नहीं नहीं, डिपेंड करता है यार, बहुत सारे कॉम्बिनेशन देखना पड़ता है रजिस्ट्रेशन में। बेसिकली मैं तीन बात कहूंगा कि रजिस्ट्रेशन में आपका तीन चीजें होनी चाहिए। एक आपका फिक्स एस्टेब्लिशमेंट होना चाहिए, और फिक्स एस्टेब्लिशमेंट डेफिनेशन क्या है कि इट शुड बी कंपेटेबल और मतलब टेक्निकल एंड ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज होने चाहिए। तीनों का कॉम्बिनेशन है अगर उस स्टेट में, देन यू नीड टू टेक रजिस्ट्रेशन इन दैट स्टेट। अदरवाइज तो मैं एक स्टेट से दूसरे स्टेट में सर्विस प्रोवाइड कर ही सकता हूँ ना। लेट्स से सपोज कर माधव, मैं कलकत्ता में रजिस्टर्ड हूँ, ठीक है, और आप रजिस्टर्ड हो चेन्नई में, ठीक है। आपने मुझे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया फॉर दिल्ली लोकेशन। मैंने क्या किया, एंटायर पूरा का पूरा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट सब कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर दिया।
ओके।
Whether I am providing that service to you for owning any establishment in that location, answer would be no। मेरा तो कुछ है ही नहीं ना वहां पे, तो क्या मैं सर्विस नहीं दे सकता? दे सकता हूं मैं सर्विस। तो रजिस्ट्रेशन लेना या नहीं लेना, ये ना दो तीन फैक्टर पे डिपेंड करता है, इसलिए मैं आज उस क्वेश्चन पे नहीं जाऊंगा। तो बट आंसर वुड बी, प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई वुड बी क्लियर, वेरी क्लियर, नो डाउट, नो एम्बिग्यूटी। ठीक है,
ओके,
यहाँ
फिर
पे
सर चेन्नई में सर कुछ
रजिस्ट्रेशन।
सर्विस देंगे तो उसका आईटीसी ले सकता है क्या कलकत्ता वाला पार्टी सर? चेन्नई में
आईजीएसटी
जो
का
उसको
आईटीसी मना ही नहीं। देख, अगर मैं बात करूं ना आईटीसी विद रिस्पेक्ट टू जीएस प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई, सिर्फ एक ही ऐसा आईटीसी है जो प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई रोकता है, जो है C+S ऑफ अदर स्टेट। मैं अगर सर्कुलर सीबीआईसी के सर्कुलर देखूं ना, तो एकमात्र एक ऐसा सर्कुलर जो 170 नंबर सर्कुलर है ना, जिसने मुझे कहा कि अगर आपका C+S ऑफ अदर स्टेट है तब आप आईटीसी नहीं ले सकते। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट कोई भी आईटीसी मना नहीं है, और आईजीएसटी तो कभी मना हो ही नहीं सकता। इवन दो यू आर नॉट हैविंग द प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई दैट लोकेशन जहां पे आप रजिस्टर्ड है, ऐसा कभी मना नहीं हो सकता बिकॉज ऑफ द आईजीएसटी सेटलमेंट रूल। जब आप सेक्शन 9 ऑफ आईजीएसटी एक्ट पढ़ेंगे ना, सेक्शन 9, जब आप आईजीएसटी सेटलमेंट रूल की तरफ जाएंगे ना, तब आपको मालूम चलेगा यहां पर चेन्नई पार्टी को कोई भी नुकसान ही नहीं हो रहा। चेन्नई गवर्नमेंट को, चेन्नई पार्टी नहीं, सॉरी, चेन्नई स्टेट को कोई भी नुकसान नहीं हो रहा इस आईजीएसटी का आईटीसी लेने पर, तो इसीलिए इसका आईटीसी कभी भी मना नहीं होगा। ठीक
ओके,
है।
मतलब उसको आई जी जी सेंट्रल
हाँ,
गवर्नमेंट
उसको
बाद में सेटल कर देगी।
उसको सेटलमेंट के थ्रू आईजीएसटी का कुछ पोर्शन उस स्टेट को चला जाएगा, तो इसलिए स्टेट को नुकसान नहीं है, तो इसलिए आईजीएसटी का आईटीसी मना नहीं है, इन माई अंडरस्टैंडिंग। ठीक है।
ओके ओके ओके, थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू। मैम, ओवर टू यू।
Thank you, sir.
सॉरी।
No, no, no. Students' queries are always the first preference for all of us. So in today's session, in fact, we have completed quite a lot of things. Two important topics, advanced ruling, then liability to pay tax. And now we have also covered questions of RTP. In fact, some students are not even aware that RTP has been web hosted. So they also got an idea that what are the type of questions which have been covered. This time we have tried to cover lot many topics in RTP, like advanced ruling, question based on pre-deposit is there, special audit is there. Then we have the reverse charge provisions. We have tested for goods also. We have given it in RTP to give you an idea that reverse charge for goods has also been included in the syllabus from past two examination. And for reverse charge for services has also been tested in many questions. Exemptions, you will find some of the exemptions being tested in question number 13 also, which is the big question, the evaluation and synthesis based question, which is asked in exam also, first compulsory question. Then we have tested the amendments. Sir has also discussed today the questions which are based on the amendments. So one is ITC circular, you have seen appeals and revision circular, and you have seen the section 14A, the online money gaming based provision, which has been introduced this time. So after covering all these questions, in fact, one student, Avinash Agrawal, had asked specifically, directly he had asked, Madhav has still raised the hand. If he has any other query, no, his query has been answered. Avinash has directly asked me to let him know the strategy to be adopted in a day before exam for November examination. So he has just joined the class today, and tomorrow is our last class. Most probably we will be having, as everybody has requested that they need some amendment class also. Although in all these classes we have covered the latest position of law which is applicable for May 2025 examination, but still some students who were there who are continuing from the earlier attempts, so they want all the amendments at one place so that they can be familiar with the amendments also, or there can be greater stress on the amendments. So that we will let you know on due course of time that how we will be planning this class, but most probably we'll be having this class, the amendment based class, where all the amendments as compared to November 2024 examination. So amendments will be vis-a-vis November 2024. So the latest provisions which are there, which have been introduced, and so those students who have appeared for November 2024 examination, they can watch these sessions and they can get all the amendments at one place. We'll let you know the schedule for that. And yes, Madhav, any query?
मैम जी मैम पूछ रहा हूँ कि जैसे अपने एमटीपी में हम अभी अभी अपलोड हुआ है ना, तो मैम एमटीपी सारे अपने मई और नवंबर अटेम्प्ट के लिए एप्लीकेबल है ना? मतलब उसमें जो प्रोविजंस
एमटीपी
ऐड
अभी
किए
मई
गए हैं।
के लिए एप्लीकेबल है। नवंबर के लिए बहुत सारे प्रोविजंस चेंज हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि जैसे मैंने लास्ट क्लास में भी बताया था कि बहुत सारी जो हमारे अभी फाइनेंस एक्ट के अमेंडमेंट्स हैं, फाइनेंस नंबर 2 एक्ट 2024 और फाइनेंस एक्ट 24, दो बजट्स थे, तो दो जो फर्स्ट बजट था और सेकंड बजट, उसके अमेंडमेंट्स, बहुत सारे अमेंडमेंट्स अभी नवंबर के लिए एप्लीकेबल हो जाएंगे, मई के लिए एप्लीकेबल नहीं है। तो नवंबर वाले जो आपका एमटीपी होगा ना, मई का एमटीपी में हो सकता है कुछ क्वेश्चंस आपके नवंबर के लिए आंसर चेंज हो जाए या मे क्वेश्चन भी मे बी रिडंडेंट हो सकता है। तो इसीलिए जो भी एमटीपी अभी आ रहा है वो May 25 के लिए है। इनफैक्ट एमटीपी बुकलेट भी जो अभी है वो May 25 के हिसाब से अपडेटेड है, बिकॉज हमें उसको कट ऑफ डेट जो हमने उस पर रखी है वो 31 अक्टूबर ही रखी है। तो जो May 25 के स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो उसे अभी रेफर कर सकते हैं। एमटीपी भी जो है वो अभी आपके अटेम्प्ट के लिए है, और जो एमटीपी बुकलेट के जो क्वेश्चंस हैं वो भी अभी May 25 के लिए अपडेटेड है। जब नवंबर की बात आएगी तो उसमें अमेंडमेंट्स को टेक केयर करना पड़ेगा, उसके लिए वील हैव सेपरेट सेशन, उसके हम प्रॉपर्ली आपको स्टैट्यूटरी अपडेट से इन्फॉर्म कर देंगे कौन कौन सी अमेंडमेंट्स आपके लिए एप्लीकेबल हैं। ठीक है,
अभी 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 जो भी मैम डीटी के और आईडीटी का दोनों जो मॉक टेस्ट मतलब मॉडल पेपर है ना, वो अपने मई अटेम्प्ट के लिए है।
मे अटेम्प्ट के लिए है वो भी। आपका अटेम्प्ट मई है?
जी मैम।
ठीक है, तो आप उसको रेफर कर सकते हैं। अभी आपका जैसे सिलेबस कंप्लीट हो गया है तो आप एक बार फिर से रिवाइज करना चाहते हैं, जो भी देखना चाहते हैं टॉपिक्स, उसके बाद आप उसको अटेम्प्ट कीजिएगा एग्जाम लाइक कंडीशन में, तो आपको थोड़ा सा प्रिपरेशन का पता चलेगा अपनी।
जी मैम, ऐसे मतलब अभी कुछ क्वेश्चन कुछ करना हो तो मैं सिर्फ क्वेश्चन ही अपने वहाँ पे पुट अप कर दूंगा कि मतलब पर्टिकुलर फैकल्टी का तो पता नहीं मैम कि कौन से टॉपिक को कौन से सर ऐड देखेंगे, तो मुझे तो सिर्फ क्वेश्चन ही मतलब आस्क और क्वेरी करके है ना मैम, वहाँ पे क्वेश्चन अपलोड कर देने हैं। मतलब फैकल्टी तो अपने हिसाब से फिर आंसर करेंगे मैम उसको।
कहाँ पे आस्क योर क्वेरी में आप क्या पूछना चाहते हैं?
जैसे मैम अपना बीओएस का ऐप है ना, तो मुझे कोई भी
हम्म।
क्वेरी पढ़ते समय अगर होता है तो मतलब कहाँ पे क्वेरी रेज करना होगा
हाँ, आप
कहीं
बीओएस
पे?
ऐप में कर सकते हो, या फिर आप आईडीटी डैश फाइनल करके एक ईमेल आईडी है, आप उस पर भी भेज सकते हो अपनी क्वेरी।
ओके मैम।
ठीक है, वो पोर्टल हम ही देखते
जी।
हैं, आपको आंसर मिल जाएगा। लेकिन हाँ, कभी कभी होता है ऐसा कि कुछ टाइम कभी कभी लग जाता है क्योंकि क्वेरीज पेंडिंग होती है काफी सारी, बट यू विल गेट द
जैसे
आंसर इन ड्यू
मैम
कोर्स ऑफ टाइम।
मैम सिर्फ, हाँ जी मैम, आप सिर्फ आईडीटी मतलब देख रही हैं या फिर बीओएस में और भी
नहीं,
टॉपिक्स होंगे तो उसको क्या?
मैं सिर्फ आईडीटी देखती हूँ।
ओके।
टी के लिए भी आप जो
ओके
है
मैम।
डीटी डैश फाइनल पे भेज सकते हो अपनी क्वेरी, या फिर बीओएस ऐप में डाल सकते हो। बीओएस ऐप में क्या होता है, अपने आप सेग्रीगेट हो जाती है क्वेरी। जब
जी
आपको
जी।
सब्जेक्ट पूछा जाएगा तो वो आप सब्जेक्ट जब आप उसमें आप सिलेक्ट करोगे, इट विल गो टू दी कंसर्न फैकल्टी ओनली।
करेक्ट करेक्ट मैम। ओके।
ठीक है। अच्छा, अविनाश तो
जी।
खैर मुझे अभी चैट में नहीं दिख रहे, मे बी वो अगर रिकॉर्डेड सेशन बाद में देखें तो उनके लिए मैं ये बता सकती हूँ कि जो अभी नवंबर वाले स्टूडेंट्स भी हैं, वैसे मई वाले स्टूडेंट्स के लिए भी यही अप्रोच है कि आपको अगर एग्जाम से पहले दिन रिवीजन करनी है उसके लिए क्या स्ट्रैटेजी हो सकती है। तो मेनली हम हमेशा यही सजेस्ट करते हैं कि जब आप प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हो उस टाइम पे आप अपने नोट्स जरूर प्रिपेयर करो। उसके लिए सारांश भी है, लेटस रिकैपिचुलेट भी है, और जो आपको ड्यूरिंग द सेशन पीपीटीज या नोट्स मिलते हैं, सब चीजों की आप हेल्प लेकर आप हर चैप्टर जो भी आप प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो उसके लिए आपके पास एक प्रॉपर नोट्स होने चाहिए, जो कि बहुत समराइज फॉर्म में होने चाहिए। और अगर आप उन्हें खुद बनाते हो तो आपको उनको याद भी करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती। यू डोंट इवन नीड टू रिमेंबर द नोट्स व्हिच यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग ऑन योर ओन। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट मी नो कि इफ एनी स्टूडेंट इज देयर हु इज नॉट कंफर्टेबल इन हिंदी। अगर ऐसा है तो मैं इंग्लिश में ही बताऊंगी, अदरवाइज आई विल एक्सप्लेन द दिस थिंग इन हिंदी। कोई ऐसा स्टूडेंट तो नहीं है, चैट में बता सकता है, या आप अनम्यूट करके भी बता सकते हैं दैट यू आर नॉट कंफर्टेबल इन हिंदी। एनीबडी इज देयर? आई होप एवरीबडी इज कंफर्टेबल इन हिंदी। तो आप अपने नोट्स जो है वो प्रिपेयर करिए। अच्छा, एक मैसेज आया है हिंदी, माधव तो हिंदी ही बता रहे हैं कि हिंदी में ठीक है, क्योंकि बहुत सारी रिक्वेस्ट हमारे पास आती है कि आप हिंदी में बताइए, उससे हम ज्यादा कनेक्ट कर पाते हैं। तो अगर कोई ऐसा स्टूडेंट नहीं है तो आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट इन हिंदी ओनली, ताकि आप लोगों को ज्यादा कनेक्ट रहे उससे। तो आप अपनी सबसे पहले तो, हाँ, माधव इज सेइंग सारांश इज नॉट अपडेटेड, सारांश विल बी अपडेटेड वेरी सून। आप लेकिन अभी जो सारांश है उसमें जितना पोर्शन अपडेटेड है उसके साथ साथ आपको जो अभी अमेंडमेंट क्लास होगी आप वो साथ में देखिएगा। ठीक है। दूसरी बात ये है कि सारा लेटेस्ट रिकैपिचुलेट सेक्शन जो है वो पूरा अपडेटेड है, तो आप वो देख सकते हो। जैसे मैंने आपको बताया समरी फॉर्म आपको चाहिए, इनफैक्ट आप देखोगे इस बार स्टडी मटेरियल में 3 नए चैप्टर्स में समरी भी आई है। इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट का एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर है जिसमें समरी आ गई है, लेटेस्ट रिकैपिचुलेट सेक्शन ऐड हो गया है। दूसरा आपका एडवांस रूलिंग वाला चैप्टर है, और तीसरा लाइबिलिटी टू पे टैक्स है। आप ये तीनों चैप्टर्स की समरी भी रेफर कर सकते हो। दूसरी बात यह है कि आपको हर चैप्टर के लिए अपने कुछ नोट्स प्रिपेयर करने हैं। वो नोट्स आपको इस तरीके से प्रिपेयर करने हैं कि आप उस चैप्टर में जो भी कुछ एग्जाम से पहले दिन पढ़ना चाहते हो वो उसमें कवर होना चाहिए। हमने लेटेस्ट रिकैपिचुलेट अपने हिसाब से बनाया है, आपको उसमें लगता है कि नहीं मुझे ये वाला प्रोविजन और एक बार शायद इसको मैं इतनी डिटेल में कवर करना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि एग्जाम से पहले आई रिक्वायर इट, मतलब मैं इसको उस इतना डिटेल में पढ़ना चाहता हूँ। आपको उस तरह से अपनी सारी समरीज कंप्लीट करनी है हर चैप्टर की। जिस चैप्टर की समरी आपको स्टडी में आपको लगता है कि नहीं मुझे और कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव करनी है, उसको कंप्लीट कीजिए। यानी हर चैप्टर के आपके पास एक नोट्स होनी चाहिए और वो इतने कंसाइज होने चाहिए कि आप एग्जाम के पहले जो आपकी एक दिन की प्रिपेरेटरी लीव होती है उसमें आप उसे पढ़ सकते हो। तो ये तो बात हुई कॉन्सेप्ट्स की। इनफैक्ट जब आप नोट्स बनाते हो ना तो आपके बहुत सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स क्लियर होते हैं। नोट्स बनाते वक्त आपको बहुत सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स याद भी हो जाते हैं। तो खुद नोट्स बनाने का तो मतलब कोई कंपैरिजन ही नहीं है, उससे ज्यादा अच्छी अप्रोच कुछ नहीं हो सकती। लेकिन हाँ, कभी कभी टाइम कम होता है, अब हमें उसको सिलेबस को कंप्लीट भी करना है, हमारे पास जो अवेलेबल रिसोर्सेज है हम उनको सोचते हैं कि हाँ कवर कर लें, तो हम उस केस में ये कर सकते हैं कि हाँ हम सारांश की, लेटेस्ट रिकैपिचुलेट की हेल्प ले सकते हैं। एग्जिस्टिंग कोई समरीज हैं हमारे पास तो हम उनकी हेल्प ले सकते हैं। नोट्स या जैसे जो आपको ड्यूरिंग द क्लास मिलते हैं आप उनकी भी हेल्प ले सकते हैं। उसको लेकिन अपने हिसाब से कस्टमाइज करना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि हर किसी की एग्जाम से पहले अपनी प्रेफरेंस है। दूसरी चीज है कि आपको उसके लिए दूसरा आपको ये करना बहुत जरूरी है कि आपको क्वेश्चन जरूर देखने हैं। यानी एग्जाम से पहले दिन ऐसा नहीं कि आपको सारी बुक के सारे क्वेश्चंस देखने, नहीं। आप अभी एमटीपी बुकलेट करोगे, आप आरटीपी देखोगे, एमटीपी अटेम्प्ट करोगे, उसके अलावा टेस्ट योर नॉलेज सेक्शन है, तो आपके पास बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस हैं प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए। आप उन क्वेश्चंस में से जो भी क्वेश्चन आपको ऐसा लगता है कि आपको उसमें कुछ ट्रिकी पॉइंट लगा, आप उसको फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस में सॉल्व नहीं कर पाए, पर्टिकुलरली जो क्वेश्चन 1 है कंपल्सरी क्वेश्चन, उसमें ऐसा बहुत ज्यादा होता है कि बच्चों से बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स नहीं सॉल्व होते फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस में, तो आप उन पॉइंट्स को हाईलाइट कर लीजिए अपने हाईलाइटर से, उनको आप जो है वो कर लीजिए, मतलब वहीं पे ही एक शॉर्ट उसमें डिस्क्रिप्शन लिख लीजिए कि इसका ये पॉइंट है, आप इसका ये सॉल्यूशन है, और उन क्वेश्चंस को टिक करके आप एग्जाम से पहले दिन जरूर रेफर कीजिए। यानी आपको एग्जाम से पहले दिन सिर्फ कॉन्सेप्ट्स नहीं पढ़ने, आपको वो क्वेश्चंस भी देखने हैं जो आपने प्रैक्टिस के टाइम पर जिनमें आपको कुछ इश्यूज लगे थे। तो ये आपका एक कंप्लीट रिविजन मटेरियल रेडी होना चाहिए बिफोर द एग्जाम, और ये हर पेपर के लिए आपको करना चाहिए, ताकि जब एग्जाम से पहले दिन आपको पता है कि आपको बस इतना कंटेंट देखना है, आपको सिर्फ यही चीजें रिवाइज करनी है और क्वेश्चन जरूर देखने हैं साथ में। दैट विल गिव यू अ कॉन्फिडेंस कि आपको एग्जाम जब आप देने के लिए एग्जाम में अपीयर होंगे तो आपको काफी कॉन्फिडेंट फील होगा, क्योंकि आपने हर चीज रिवाइज कर ली, आपने अपनी सारी चीजें जो है पहले से प्रिपेयर की हुई थी कि मुझे पता है मैं एक दिन में इतना पढ़ सकता हूँ, इतनी चीजें मैं रिवाइज कर सकता हूँ। लेकिन वो सारी जो प्लानिंग है ना एग्जाम से पहले दिन की, वो अभी होनी चाहिए, और वो बहुत फुल प्रूफ होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि आप अभी कितना मर्जी पढ़ लीजिए, लेकिन अगर आप कोई भी चीज एग्जाम से पहले दिन रिवाइज नहीं कर पाए तो वो आपको मतलब इट वुड बी एज गुड एज नॉट डन वाली बात है, वो ऐसा ही होगा कि जैसे आपने नहीं किया। वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है स्ट्रेटेजी। जो May 25 वाले बच्चे हैं वो अभी सब कुछ एक बार पूरी क्लासेस ले चुके हैं, अब कल आपकी क्लासेस खत्म हो जाएंगी, अमेंडमेंट्स भी हम एक बार और अच्छे से कवर करा देंगे। तो अब आपका फोकस यही होना चाहिए कि आपके पास अपना रिविजन मटेरियल आपको जल्दी से जल्दी रेडी करना है हर पेपर के लिए रिविजन करते वक्त, प्लस आपको अपने क्वेश्चंस रेडी करने हैं। ठीक है, इस तरीके से आप अपनी रिविजन कर सकते हो। आई होप दिस आंसर्स अविनाश क्वेश्चन। maybe he can see the recorded lecture afterwards, because उसने 2-3 बार ये क्वेरी उन्होंने पोस्ट की कि उनको पूछना है। आप में से किसी को कुछ और इस तरह का कुछ पूछना है तो आप पूछ सकते हो। कोई और किसी की कुछ क्वेरी है? अच्छा, ठीक है, चलो। थैंक यू प्रसाद, थैंक यू प्रशांत। Okay, Madhav, also your queries have also been solved. Okay, fine. So I think now we can convene the session. We can conclude the session at this point of time. Any other point? No. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Good night, everyone. हाँ, done. बंद कर दीजिए session.